Whoops. Oh, man. It wouldn't be an iRollerboot live stream if there weren't technical difficulties. I see you, Anthony, and it's very true. Anyway, we're gonna Austin PAZ wanted to jump on and was nice enough to offer to jump on and talk about WinterClash, his experience at WinterClash. I am curious, can I get a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear? Let's just click 1, it doesn't matter. If you guys can hear this, I'm trying to figure out Stream Duck is yeah, can you hear the video? I'm sorry, the audio from the video? Oh, no way, that's sick. Alright, cool. Very cool. Thank you for the ones. Alright, cool. So Austin says he is going to be here here in just a moment. So we will hang out until a -1, no. Okay, so 0, negatory. We got 1. Alright, so I'm not sure, I'm getting mixed signals. Can you hear the music that's playing on this YouTube video right now? Yeah, that's lame. Damn. No audio. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Are you gonna focus on me? Okay. Anyway. No, cannot hear the music. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's too bad, man. I don't know why StreamYard does this, dude. Um, I try to I try to, when I share my screen, I don't know, man. StreamYard has good things and it has annoying things, man. But anyway, we're gonna be talking about WinterClash here in a momento. So stick around for that. Austin Pass is gonna be here in a moment. I wish I could share. I wish I could share. It's just so frustrating, man. I don't know why. It gives me an error. It gives me an error for audio for some reason. That's frustrating. Frustrating. Anyway, whatever. The show must go on. Yeah, it's still being a pain in the butt here. StreamYard or streaming problems, but anyway, whatever. We will hang out and wait for Austin to come hang out with us. Maybe we can go creep on some more. Ooh, what are these? These are new, right? This just got announced, right? Dude, wait. Did you guys already know about these? The all black direct link in bio. Mesmer Throne, Intuition Boot only. There's Big L in the house. Did you already see these all black Mesmers? I'm sure you have, of course. Yeah.
Oh, I'm here. Am I here?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh,
you're
okay.
on with us.
That happened quick.
Sorry, man. How you doing? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah. Did you already see these all black Mesmers?
I saw them in person. Is that an official announcement for them?
I think so. 6 minutes ago. At least this is on Heat on Skate. It might not actually be the Mesmer one.
That might be a custom because I feel like if they did where they
all
black, it would have been last weekend at WinterClash, right? Wouldn't that make more sense? Why would they?
It would have made more sense. Yeah. So maybe that's just a custom. Huh? Yeah. My bad. Anyway, man. Thanks for taking the time to jump on and just chat a little bit.
I was unpacking all my shit, and I have your stream on in the background like I normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. That day, what was it? Last Wednesday, I checked into my hotel in Eindhoven, and you were live, and I had you live as I was like getting my shit together because Michael was meeting up with me, and he popped in my hotel room, and we had your stream on.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool. I loved seeing you guys jam on that edit when you got. I think it was like the first day or second day you guys got there, where you and Wizard one? Yeah, the Wizard one. Yeah, that looked like a good time, man. Those spots look insane.
Dude, Eindhoven is like, there's so much shit to skate in that little city. You could easily film an entire edit within like a 10-block radius.
Right, you
There's
don't
so
even
many spots. And it's funny because like that whole city is just overrun by skaters when we're there. So like literally in front of my hotel, there's like an epic skate spot. Every single time I'm going and leaving, there's people, there's sessions there all weekend long, all over the city. Just on the way to the skate park, you see people skating nonstop every single spot. So it's pretty cool to see that for that whole weekend.
I bet. I bet. I was talking to my buddy Sam, and he was saying the same thing. It's like everywhere you go, you're just like seeing skaters.
Look
Like
at this thing. Look at this spot. How insane
that's what
is
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I
look
remember
at
watching
that.
this. It's like a skate park. It's like
Look at that.
engineered to go skate.
Yeah. Like
It's
if you had
insane.
the proper setup, you could easily just send it over this wall. There's probably like a 8-foot drop on the other side or something, but you could like do a nice big air or something like that into it if you're into that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So like, that's fucking insane. Look at that thing.
I
Right?
meant to ask, did those cracks ever mess you guys up, or were they not big enough?
They were big enough, and that terrified me the entire time, but neither of us got caught in them
Nice.
at all. So
Gotcha.
luckily, I could picture like going down the hill and just going right in one of them and just going face first down
Oh
it.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that didn't happen to any of us, luckily. I think we were just more aware of it.
Yeah. And then there's this too. It's like whatever this little bench thing is over here.
Everything, everything.
Oh
That
my
whole it's like
goodness.
almost like a little Barcelona, that place.
Absolutely insane. Yeah. So cool, man. I mean, what do you think? I mean, Winter Clash looked like it was it was hyped up to be, it is like the largest event of the year, more or less, and it looked like it was a absolute banger of an event. What was your overall experience, I guess?
Yeah. The whole weekend was yeah, I mean it's always really good. I feel like um I went in 2019 and 2020 and
Mhm.
2020. So 2019 was the one where Joe Atkinson won, where he did like the vertical stall on the Rosie's box thing, and
Yeah,
he
like
just
the most iconic.
annihilated the whole. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
insane, like one of the best contest performance I ever seen. 2020 was good, but it wasn't as good. I think just it's hard to follow that up. And
Sure.
then I was a little skeptical about if this comes back the way the park was, the layout and everything from what I saw online before I got there, if that was going to be the case again. But when I got there, I saw that they completely rearranged the whole park pretty much for the most part. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a really good contest. And it definitely delivered. It was up there with the one that Joe won in 2019. So it definitely exceeded my expectations by far. Like the contest itself, I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm just gonna skip right to it. The Joe's backslide. It's like you watch the clips and it sounds like the Super Bowl. Was it
Yeah,
was the
exactly.
whole building just like shaking from?
Yeah, there was like that and like one or two other things probably where the whole place just shook like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, with the way you get people's attention like that is if you do something first try out of nowhere, like that extra element of surprise.
Yeah.
It's different when you keep trying and trying and you get it, but like out of nowhere, I didn't see him try the backslide at all at that entire time.
Oh,
And he just went and
okay.
sent the backslide first shot, and that makes it that much more exciting for everybody. And that's why it was extra loud as well.
Interesting. I never actually thought about it like that, where it's sort of like, whoa, like out of left field. You don't even have time to sort of wrap your brain around the trick, and then it just kapow.
Yeah, and that's exactly like contests are always like that. If you see someone trying something, you're kind of expecting it already, so it's not as
Mm,
exciting when they release it, you know.
yeah.
But that was what was with Joe's performance in 2019 too, because almost every single thing he did was first shot. He had like 10 tricks listed, and he was like, boom, crazy, something over there, first shot, perfect, boom, something over there, first shot, perfect. So everything was pretty much first shot that he did, and that's why it was such a that's like how you win, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, a couple guys were saying I guess he tried it a couple times. That's one thing, that was one theme that I got from Ricardo's live stream, because there was 3,000 people watching it. But it
Yeah,
was that,
that's
there's so much going on when you attend, it's hard to actually capture it all with your own two eyeballs
yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, it's like when you're watching it, I mean, yeah, it's like people are just all over the place. So it's hard to kind of see. That's why I was curious about the live stream. It's so hard. I didn't know they had multiple cameras because I wasn't
Yeah.
watching it, obviously, but that makes sense because how else would you? There's so much going on. You can't just capture that all on one camera. You're gonna miss everything else. There's 5 people in the heat. You can't just follow one person around the entire time. You're gonna miss something.
Right, right. And I think they did a really, really good job with that, with the multiple, and they had to have 5 or 6 different cameras all over the place or
Was
more.
it that many?
I
Damn,
mean, it was a bunch. I didn't count, but it was like I felt like it was at least 4 or 5.
that's
Um,
I didn't notice that at all.
and the commentary, I don't know if you've watched much of it or yet or not or whatever, but the commentary with Biz and Ricardo, I
Mhm.
mean, dude, it was just like one of the most entertaining, fun, live streams I've ever seen in my life because Biz was just cutting up and they were just cracking joke. Dude, it was so good.
I got to go back and watch it because I didn't even know Biz was involved in that in the first place.
Yeah, Biz was commentating the whole time and just a riot, dude. I think he needs to commentate from like here on out, dude. He absolutely killed it.
And
But
yeah, these events need something like that too. We're going to be televised like every other sport there is in the world. Also, like we need something like this. It's a ton of work. Like, granted, Ricardo was working the entire weekend for the most part. You know, I saw him before on like Thursday or something. We got like breakfast together, but I knew after that he was just work mode the entire time. So I know it's a ton of work. The equipment involved, live streaming is very stressful, as you know. I can't imagine doing it with multiple cameras and having to comment on it and be on for 10 hours straight for the most part. So that's a lot of work, but to be able to do that is incredible. And if somehow people like Ricardo were motivated enough to do it at all these events, like I know you were talking about doing at Bitter Cold too, Bitter Cold having one at Blading Cup, all these things would be really sick and involve the community more. And it would get people more excited and hyped out on all these events and attending them actually in person. Because when you see it live like that, it's a different vibe than watching an edit later on. That's all put together like music. It's not the same as watching it live.
100%, 100%. I mean, there's a reason like people watch the Super Bowl live, you know, like, watch all these sporting events live. It has a different weight to it when you're watching it in near real time or real time.
Yeah, you don't. If anyone watching this has never been to an event like a contest like this, like a Bitter Cold, a Winter Clash, a Blading Cup, I wouldn't even really Blading Cup. Yes, I guess you could say too. It's more of a chill event than these events, but
sure,
the energy that happens inside this park is insane. Bitter Cold is the same exact way. When the finals are going off, like everybody storms the course and then like they block it all off. Like you don't get that energy when you're watching it on these videos. And I know this is the closest thing you're going to get to it, but when you're there, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah. And, you know, I've been talking with Daniel, the coordinator of BCSD, and that was one thing I reached out. I was like, man, you know, there's such a massive demand for this. Well, I guess I should back up. One of his big things here with this final Bitter Cold Showdown is like passing the torch, inspiring people, going out with a big bang so that the next generation or the next person can take that torch and be inspired to start something similar. And I think it's important, just like you were saying, where it's like, if you can't go, watching it live, I mean, has a different impact, and it could help support that mission to inspire more people and get the exposure out there and hopefully create more events like it.
Yeah, it's just about getting people involved. It's like, were you skating when they did the 21 Winter Clash, the online one?
No.
Mm-mm. So that was the first time anything like that was ever done in skating, at least. And it was really cool to see literally the entire world was involved in that. And 24 hours straight, like people were uploading clips and you were able to watch it no matter what time zone you were in, no matter where you were. So I can imagine. And I was part of a group chat. My buddies from Staten Island, we have a group chat. And the whole time I'm there, I'm seeing them like they're all watching the live stream also from home. So like they're commentating on it as it's happening and they're watching the live stream. So I know there's thousands and thousands of other people out there that were doing the same, like maybe groups of buddies together, like, hey, let's go to my house, we'll watch Winter Clash live together. Blading Cup was like that too, I think. I don't know if the first or second or third, one of the earlier Blading Cups, it was streamed live or it was on TV or something like that. And you were able to watch it at home. And I remember I was super jealous that for whatever reason, I couldn't watch it at home. But it's cool to get like, 3, 4, 5-year buddies together, like you were watching the Super Bowl in the States or something like that. Get together, order some wings, some pizza, some beers, whatever it is. And you sit down on the couch, talk shit and watch the contest as it happens. I think that's a really cool way to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's actually what some of the locals here in OKC did during Blading Cup, where they actually got together, drank some beers, hung out, ordered pizza, whatever, barbecue. And we're trying to watch Blade Cup just kind of through Instagram live streams and stuff like that. And that's kind of why I was a little bit frustrated that there wasn't something like this, or at least somewhat similar to this in any respect, right? Where it was more of a continuous sort of, because I think you make a good point. Like Blading Cup is a little bit less insane like this one is. This one's just, you can just feel the energy. But no, I think you're exactly right. Like getting together with your homies or with your buddies, whatever, and watching the live, just like you would the Super Bowl, just like you just said. So Blade Till Dead asks, did you ever try the big rainbow rail? And what were your thoughts on it? Was it as hard as it looks?
Yeah, that thing kind of sucked.
Yeah.
If that rail was like, if you took like 2 or 3 feet off of each end and made it that much smaller, it would have been annihilated by everybody. But it was so hard.
Mm.
Like, I don't know if you could tell by watching it. The flow of the park isn't that good.
Mhm.
Like even on the opposite end, to get speed for that sub box thingy, the grindhouse sub box, the blue one, it was really hard to do. It was like you have to charge the whole park. You're going down and then you're going back up because it like kind of sinks, like the flow of the park, like it kind of sinks in a little bit in the
Yeah.
middle. So you lose a lot of speed. It's hard,
Mhm.
especially I was trying it from the left side, and there was that weird blue roll in that went into this loco box, and then you got
Right.
speed that way. It was so hard to get speed for that. You needed, I had 58 flat. I would assume like the people doing it, almost everybody who did it had bigger wheels, like in the 60s or 72s or something like that,
Mhm.
and they were able to get the speed for it. It was super hard. I was trying to backside it one of the first days, and I was getting like 40% of the way, and I would just couldn't get the speed. I would just stop on a
Right.
backside. It was so hard to do.
Yeah.
So the fact that people were doing anything on it was pretty crazy. Joe's backslide is like impossible, but it looked like such a fun thing. If it was just a tiny bit smaller, if it was like 25% smaller, 20% smaller, it would have been way easier for everybody to just go ham on that thing.
Well, lesson learned for next year if they do something similar. I mean, that's a really good point. It's like, cool, this is an extremely hard obstacle. And you could tell because the best of the best of the best are struggling on this thing.
Yeah.
Struggling. So it's like, okay, you make a great point that, hey, like, let's make it slightly smaller and just have dudes absolutely just incinerate it, just demolish this obstacle.
Yeah, think about it. If that thing was 5 feet shorter in total length, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah.
It's so minimal in comparison, but it'd be that much easier to actually finish it. Like someone like me with 58s was able to almost get to the apex of it, you know? So if
Mhm.
it was 5 feet shorter, everybody with like 60s and whatever could just fly up at it. And I really
Yeah.
wanted to be able to session it because it looked fun to do, but it was just so hard to do.
Yeah, I figured, man. Watching everyone struggle on, I'm like, oh my god, that thing has to be impossible.
Yeah, that
And
like rolling thing on the left, like if that was 2 feet higher where you could get the speed for it to drop in, that
yeah,
would
were you saying where there was that like weird little extension? Not
yeah,
weird,
and
but
it wasn't like you can't like yeah, you showed it before in the shot. But,
I probably skipped.
oh, my cats are going crazy now. I just picked them up from my mom's house, so, they missed me. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
so, okay, there it is. Yeah, you just had it right there.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a fluid rolling either. Yeah, right there. So, if that was like 2 feet taller, it would have made all the difference, and you can't tell from that angle either, but it's one of those ramps that, like, goes down and then goes mellow and then flat. So
Oh,
it's really hard to pump it. It's almost like this grindhouse box right here, how it's like down and then
right.
another bank and then flat. That's pretty much what that is. And it's super hard
Mm,
to pump that. It's not just like a regular quarter pipe. So if they somehow engineered that to make it one smooth quarter pipe, it would have been a million times easier to get speed for it. So I think
wow.
they just didn't think of like you don't know how this park is until you set it up. And they only set it up the day before the contest.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, like I think they did this all to be done Wednesday night, I believe
Oh man.
because they do the flight school, the blading camp flight school on Thursday. So they do this all like the day before, pretty
Mhm.
much. And the props to them because this shit is done so properly. All these ramps are done legit, like so legit. So they do a great job. I think they hire like an outside company to actually work on like actual construction company, not like just I forgot. I just realized my name's Big L still.
Oh, I thought you I thought that was intentional for
No,
I'm
I
just
don't even
gonna
know how
keep
to
that
say
one
it.
going.
But yeah, so they hire like actual people to put these ramps together. Not they're not just like a bunch of skaters doing it. So these people know what they're doing. They're legit. But yeah,
Gotcha.
you don't know what it's like to the day before. Honestly, I'm sure they just sketch this out. They're like, this is gonna work. These are the measurements. They go there. They know what size they need to make it, and they just make it. And they just hope for the best.
Interesting. Yeah. Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh wow, like if they set this up maybe a week in advance and you had the opportunity to practice on the stuff and dial it in, but no one had that opportunity.
They got in. I was talking to one of them, Jonas, one of the guys who helps out there, and I think they got in like the Friday before, but they have so much shit to do. It probably takes like a couple of days to get it done, but it's not completed until I'm pretty sure it wasn't completed until Wednesday, and
Yeah,
it starts Thursday. So it's all happens is right there.
I got you. So watching your reel where you were wizard skating in there, uh, because I don't know if you've heard about it yet, but Nick Lomax, so Ricardo, while he was blasting around during his live stream, kind of interviewed or talked with Nick Lomax for a while.
I saw you talking about it. I didn't see
Oh,
what I didn't like actually watch it, but I saw
yeah,
you.
dude, it's a riot. But I guess what I'm saying is that he was saying like he showed up early to try to skate the park when there wasn't a lot of people there. So my question is like, how did you manage to skate the park when it was an absolute ghost town?
So we did a podcast Friday morning. We had one at 1 o'clock with Nils, and it was I think it was the first event of the day at on Friday. But say they let people in at like 12, I think, on Friday, and then our thing was at 1 o'clock. But they were like, you could do podcasts if you want with the space. There's gonna be nothing going on as long as we're there. And I'm like, what time do you guys get in? So they got in at like 9ish, something like that. So we scheduled a podcast with Cody Lampman at 9:30. So we were like in there before anybody else. I legit showed up to the skate park before the park even opened. I was there for like 2 minutes while these guys all showed up. So I walked in the park with them like as the doors open, and I walked in and I had 3 hours of sleep. I was exhausted. I had to skate to the park also. So I skated like a mile and a half or something like that. I had 3 hours of sleep. I had to do all this shit. And then I get there, I set everything up, and I'm like, damn, this park is completely empty right now. It'll never be like this.
Right.
So I just, even though I was completely unmotivated to skate, my skating in that edit was horrible, but it's not about the skating there. It's about people being able to see one person skating that park, because you're never going to see that again. So
hey, that blew me away.
That's what the edit was about. Like, I just wanted something there. I only had my wizard skates with me. I wish I had my aggressive ones. It probably would have been a little bit better of an edit. I'm not also a person that skates by myself ever, so that wasn't motivating either. But I just had to get something. It was hard for me to even like stand on my wizard skates. I was so out of it then, but I had to do something. So I did that. And it was all about just the mood of the video rather than the tricks. So I had to get something. I had to take advantage of that in some way. You know, you're a content creator too, so it's like any opportunity you get, you take it.
Right. It's always it's always in the back of your head, like, okay, can I get something here?
Exactly.
Man, the interviews were amazing. How was it a big challenge with the equipment and setting up? Was it a big pain in the butt, or did it come together pretty smoothly, or how was that?
That's always the most stressful part about any podcast that we do. Like even situation like this, like the sun came in out of nowhere. Like I wasn't expecting that. I had to like off camera, like it changed the exposure and stuff. But the first year that we did this, I showed up, I'm like, set everything. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I forgot the adapters, the power adapters for the European to American shit. I'm like, fuck.
Oh.
And I remember like Dominic Wagner was there. He's like, I got a car. I'll drive you to like a store. And we went to like their like Best Buy equivalent, and I had to get shit and bring it back. So that's always stressful because no matter how I pack, I didn't even finish unpacking it yet, but no matter how I pack, I'm always worried that I forgot something. Because powwow one time I forgot the mixer overall. I had to like go to Best Buy and buy a mixer and just return it after the weekend. So shit like that always happens, and it's always stressful for that. Like actually doing the podcast isn't stressful. It's just the setup, worrying about what is going to go wrong. And the first one we did, the Richie Eisler one, the Wi-Fi just cut out in the middle of it. And it was like, what can I do about it? And especially in this situation, we're on stage, like in front of a crowd of people. I can't just like stop it in the middle and do whatever.
Right.
So that shit is stressful. The Nils one was smooth. The Cody one was smooth. Like it was all set up at that point and we were good to go.
Yeah.
But I was just like, let me get everything done. We were luckily able to schedule it that we did 3 podcasts by Friday at 1 o'clock. And it was just, we were done after that. I was like, I get to enjoy the rest of the weekend. That's all I wanted, because I don't have to worry about like Saturday morning doing something or Friday night doing something. So just being able to get this all done out of the way, it was good feedback from it. I think they all went well. Everyone loved the guests, and then just enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Absolutely, dude. That had to be such like a nice feeling once you pump all those out, work super hard, get them out, and then like, okay, we can take a breath and just enjoy it.
It always is my goal. Like I did this last time too. Like this was 1 o'clock on Friday. Say it finished at 2. I packed up my shit so quick, immediately went straight to my hotel, dropped it off. And that's like the sigh of relief, like dropping my equipment back off of the hotel. Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. And I legit, after that, I didn't even bring my skates, nothing. I just straight walked back to the skate park, no bag, nothing. I'm just like, let me just enjoy the rest of the day. Right. So that relief is huge, a huge weight off your shoulders. And luckily everything else was a success though, for the most part. And yeah, we got 3 podcasts out of that, which is cool.
Yeah, man, you guys cranked them out. That it's super impressive what you guys were able to do. And we all appreciate it in the community for sure, big time.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching and tuning in. If you guys haven't checked them out, Nils Ansons, Cody Lampman, Richie Eisler, they're all up now. Go check them out. Little shameless plug in there. But how was it? How was it for you guys? Because I know you did a lot of live streaming during that, like watching the whole thing as it was happening. Was everyone like super excited about it? What was going on?
Oh,
You
dude,
guys told
everyone. I mean, just so amped, dude. Just everything from top to bottom with between the interviews that you guys were putting out, and of course, like Ricardo's 10-hour marathon live stream.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like just a overloaded with content, I feel like in a good way, because you guys with your interviews, and then like on top of everything else, it's like every single person who makes anything to do with skates is like dropping new boot or a new frame.
Yeah.
So it was just so hyped, dude, the whole time. So
Yeah, a lot of products came out too. That was I
dude,
saw you guys talking about them. I mean, I was like the Shimas came out too, but besides that, all the new that those weird Solomon looking skates. I don't know if those Frank. Oh yeah, this guy has it all.
yeah, he has it all. He's the goat of the new product releases right here for
And
sure.
those adapts are so sick. Those super Leggera aggressive setups.
I was actually wanting to do a video on these today, just talking about them. What were your impressions on these? Because you saw them in person, yeah.
If they don't make any sense, but apparently they do make sense. Before this came out, I think the trade show started Friday. Like I said, I had breakfast with Ricardo on Thursday morning, I
Mhm.
believe. And he was talking about it because I guess Peter from Adapt gave him a little inside scoop where they visited the Adapt place while they were in the Netherlands, because that's where Adapt is based out of. And he's like, I tried these on. He sent me a picture. He showed me a picture of them, like him riding them and stuff. He's like, somehow they flex, even though there's no cuff on them, even though they're stiff, made out of carbon fiber. You could still do top sides in them. You could still bend as you would on a regular skate, which I don't know how that makes sense, but it does. I think that's super cool. Like I'm into like cars and carbon fiber shit, and like
Yeah.
half my camera gear is carbon fiber. Like, so it's cool to see that. My phone case is like fake carbon fiber, but
Nice.
it's really cool to see that. And that's one thing I liked about Adapt, despite all the controversy that's going around with them at the moment. Like, I do appreciate that they're handmade, they're custom, they go out of the box like this. And I don't know if anyone's gonna buy these. They're 1,400 for boot only, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, close to 1,500 out the door kind of thing.
So, I mean, that's insane. I know you get like free service for life on these, and I know like the sole plates are custom for each skate also that's ordered.
Custom.
It's not just like a small or a large sole plate. Like each sole
Oh,
plate is made specifically for what size boot you have.
wow.
So that's
Okay.
pretty cool too. That's what Ricardo or John Fromm, one of them told me that too. So it is pretty cool. They're not as light as you think they would be
Mm,
because of at least in this case, because those frames are heavy as shit. So
yeah.
it felt like a regular skate. It felt like I don't know, just any other regular skate that you would have, any USD razors, Mesmers, whatever it is, 909. It feels just as heavy as those. But if you put a normal frame on there, a Create Originals frame, I feel like they would be a really light skate if you're into that. And that's really cool. I would definitely be interested in trying those, but spending 1,500 on them is going to be rough. And that was my problem with Adapts in the first place, because I was going to buy Adapts a few years back, but I'm not going to spend like $700 on a boot without being able to try them or see them in person, because they're such rare skates. Like nobody in New York or the New York area has Adapts, let alone in my size that I could try on. So it's like such a risk to do that.
Oh my God, man.
For everyone who does that, I props to you for taking the dive and going in for $700 investment like that without like knowing that you like the skate. Because I know I spent enough money on skates the last couple of years with ones that I didn't like, and I'm like, shit, that's $400 down the drain. That's $400 here, $400 there. So it's rough.
I guess I hear a lot of concerns about, carbon fiber has a lot of applications, right? In aerospace, in cars, high performance applications. And there's plenty of carbon skates, but there's none. I mean, I guess you could say the AG10s have the exposed carbon cuff, but as far as durability goes, I don't want to make this all about the Adapt show here, but I mean, what's your thoughts on all this completely exposed carbon in terms of durability over time?
What do you mean durability? Like if they get scuffed up or anything?
I guess, like, you fall
Scuff
and you
them
just
up.
beat up skates, like no big deal, or what do you think?
Yeah, scuff them up. I mean, I'm a fan of like really abused skates. I love my skates broken in. I usually ride a pair of skates for like a year because I love them, bro. I hate new skates.
Mhm.
Like one of my least favorite things is brand new skates. Oh, that's me.
Well, there you are right there. Nice.
Yeah. So like even when I got like when you get white skates and you're scared to scuff them up,
Yeah.
I remember I got last pair of white skates like 909s, whatever. Before I even put them on my foot, I took them, I rubbed them in the dirt in the grass at the skate park before I skated them. I'm like, let me just get this out of the way now. I just rubbed it on the ground, fucked them up off the bat,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's my personal concerned about them. But if you scratch them up, so what? They're skates. If you're gonna scratch
Well,
them up, don't skate.
yeah, no. I'm 100% with you. I think like tiptoeing around, trying to preserve your skates and keep that brand new look. Like I'm not of that mindset. Skates are meant to be used, and I think they tell a story with their. But I guess like literally like for me, the question is more of like, oh no, they're not like aesthetics of being scuffed up, but actual durability. Like you fall, you do some cess slides, like because there's this picture, and I don't know, maybe someone in the chat can let me know, but I don't know if you saw it, but the AG10s, and this isn't to like, shit on AG on the icons or anything, but there was someone that put out a picture of the icon AG10s with a carbon fiber cuff, and that sort of protection of the buckle, there's like that protrusion of the carbon fiber on the cuff.
Mm.
And someone had fallen and slid clearly, and it had worn literally right through the carbon cuff, like a hole you could stick your pinky through almost.
I mean, that happens on a lot of skates, despite whether it's carbon fiber or plastic. All my
Mhm.
all my 909s that wore out on all the cups, every single one of them was just a hole in the middle. So it doesn't matter what material you have. It sucks that it's carbon fiber and it's more expensive to replace, but I feel like that's just inevitable. If
Sure.
anything, if you're going to design a skate like that, put some sort of detachable buckle, like buckle protection of some sort, like how like Sebas have it on the side, like that toe
Right.
area, like
Yep.
those urban skates. Maybe
Yep.
something like that's a way to go about it. But this shit's still so new. Like that's the first like carbon fiber skate like that at all. So
Right. Totally. Yeah.
sure,
This is.
if they do continue with that, it will evolve over time.
Yeah.
It seems like this is kind of an experiment as more than like a real release. Because like I said, how many people are going to buy these? I would imagine 10 max in its total lifespan.
Right. Right. Just like maybe I feel like either someone that's a collector, because I don't know, man. I mean, obviously there's gonna be people that buy them and use them, sure, but
If I was
and
rich as fuck, I would buy them. If I had
well,
your YouTube Premium money, I would
oh
buy
my
them.
God, stop it. Well, what's interesting is like I think it's important sometimes too. We talked about this a while back, but it's like you look at expensive ski boots, right, dude? Um, which are people's hobby, and it's like cool. I mean, I'm not even looking hard, but it's like these are $900, ski boots, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm sure we could find $2,000 ski boots if we looked hard or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's just ski boots. I mean, that doesn't count the skis, that doesn't count the poles, all the other gear. And so if you look in comparison to something like that and take a step back, I think it puts it in perspective a little bit. And I'm not saying I'm trying to justify this price tag at all, but I'm saying I think it is worthwhile to like take just a quick look at some other hobbies that people have, and it's I don't know. I think it's an interesting comparison.
It's like that in any industry. Like you compare it to cars because it's carbon fiber, right? Like they
Hmm.
make if anyone knows anything about cars, they make like say like a Lamborghini Aventador stock and it costs like 300 grand. Then they make the Superleggera SV whatever and they like change a few things and then it's like double the price. And
Right.
the modifications don't necessarily cost an extra 300 grand. It could be 50 grand, 100 grand, but it's just the exclusivity of it and the hype of it is
Yeah.
what makes the price tag that. So $1,500, yeah, it's insane, but no one's gonna buy it anyway. So
Yeah.
like for those few people who get it, they're gonna feel special. It's gonna be really cool to have, and then that's what it's gonna be.
Well,
There's a
part of
bunch
me
of people
feels,
out there
Austin,
cheaper.
like part of me feels like this is almost like they're making this in a serious sense. Like, yeah, this is a skate that's meant to perform and meant to, but like there's a part of me that's just like from a marketing perspective, all press is good press. And I'm like going to make a video probably about these today about how ridiculously expensive they are. So like part of me thinks this is almost like a marketing strategy where it's like let's make the most
Yeah.
expensive damn rollerblades of all time so
Yeah.
that people talk about them, and it just drives more traffic. That's
And
my theory anyway.
I've always thought that too, like people like how they make concept cars. I keep making those car references, but it's the easiest thing
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
about is like how they make concept cars every year, and it's just to build a name and a reputation to get people talking about you and your brand and what is possible for something to look at. Every industry does something like that. I've always said that skate should do that too. Even when Rossi's did like the plastic pushers 35 uh, edition run, whatever, only 35 skates were made. Like I feel like more companies should do shit like that. Even the Shima threes, like there's a whole controversy over whether he should still come out with pro skates and it's taking away from the current pros. Like do a Shima 3. It'd be even cool if they made like only 50 of them or something like that, because
right.
that way you're not really taking away from other potential pros or future pros having pro boot releases, but you are still putting the product out. People still can get their hands on it, and maybe there'll be selling for more on the aftermarket or something, just because of the exclusivity factor. So I think that skate company should do more exclusive runs like that. I know it's more expensive to do only say 50 boots for most skate companies because they're so small, but I think that's a really cool thing to do. And it'd be just people feel special, like, hey, I only have one of 35 of these skates, and
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Not yeah, absolutely. It's a different take on it. But we'll see. We'll see. I think someone was saying in the chat yesterday, I think that they're only going to make like one a month. I'm not sure if that's their plan or whatever, but
What, the adapts?
yeah, those crazy
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm curious how long it takes to make something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so we can talk more about products. I kind of want to. Did you take a look at these at all? The like 165 mount?
Yeah, briefly.
What do you think?
I mean, to me, it looks the same as the other factions, isn't it?
Right.
I didn't really get too into it or talk too much with Clark about them. He does have some other things on the way. I don't know if he spoke about them there or to anybody else, but they do have some other stuff on the way, stuff that you would be interested in as well.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So I'm excited for all that stuff with the factions too.
Can you give us some kind of teaser or hint, Austin, please?
It's not. I don't know. He did tell it to me in public, but
it's public information. Then what do you mean? No, I'm kidding. I'm just messing.
He'll tell you if he needs to, but yeah. All those skates, they kind of, I could be wrong about this. They look like they were all the same, just different colorways and stuff.
So we were talking about this earlier. Actually, one of the first things was that this little blue heel pad. So these skates are actually 165 mount skates. So they're actually different, structurally different than the V1s.
Okay.
I had to have the chat really like force me to understand this earlier. But they're a different boot. They're a raised heel boot here.
Right.
And so they fit 165 mount frames, and then there's the adapter, which makes them take the whatever the UFS whatever sole plates, right? UFS frames and sole plates.
Yeah.
So it's just, I thought that was kind of interesting because they do look nearly identical except for the colors, of course. But they're actually 165 mount, adaptable to UFS. So kind of interesting.
That's cool to have that.
Yeah, kind of interesting. I
will say I am riding the factions now. I do like my factions for aggressive. I rode them, the wizard setups, for the first time at WINTERCLASH with Vitzman because I didn't want to bring two boots, obviously. And I did not enjoy them at all for big wheeling and wizard stuff. Yep. It was not meant to be like that soft cuff. There was no ankle support. My ankles were like sore the next day because I had to like compensate so many other muscles for that. So that's why I'm curious about that big wheel one. But maybe they'll make changes to that in the future that'll make it better for bigger wheels because I personally did not enjoy that, but I did like them for aggressive a lot.
Yeah, no, I have a very similar feeling. I know one thing they are tweaking for, I guess, V2s or whatever down the road is going to be the cuff. That's one big thing. I like them, just like you said, I like them for aggressive. They make it really fun and easy for aggressive, and they have great flex for that. But for big wheels, like I skated the Compass, 4x80 UFS frame.
Oh yeah, you did.
Sorry,
I forgot you did that with the factions. I saw that.
Right. And it was fun, but to your point, like they're just not. It's just not quite there yet in terms of a big wheel support, kind of from a support standpoint. It seems like anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure, but it seemed like they were designed strictly for aggressive at first, and they're trying to adapt it now to other aspects, which probably isn't the best way to go about doing it. Maybe like the Icon way is the best way. How they have a specific like aggressive boot, the AG 10s and 20s, and then they have that other whatever rec free skate urban, whatever the hell you want to call it, style. So maybe that's the best way to go about doing it. But factions, like, it's just Clark doing it, it's like it's expensive. It's hard to do. It's not easy, and that's a complicated skate. It's not like he took a boot mold and threw a sole plate on it. It's a lot of work. So I can't wait to see faction like grow actually and what they do. It's a slow start. Obviously, they've been out for like only a year already. So they only have 2 releases and they got more coming out, which is cool. And I'm excited for it because overall, I'm skeptical always, like trying the first edition of a skate. Like the first 908s I thought were horrible. They gotten so much better over the years. So same thing with like the first edition of the factions. I was skeptical about them, but they're really good off the bat. So they're only going to get better.
Well, I think you make a really, really good point is that faction's been around for like 1 year, really. And this is their first, foray into this. It's basically a one-man shop. Clark is, so the amount of things that they've been able to accomplish in just this year And I mean, with their first stab at an aggressive boot, man, and now coming out with some different stuff. Like you said, I think the trajectory is strong, and I can't wait to see what the next 12, 2 years looks like. So
Yeah, exactly. Same thing here.
okay, all right, I lied. This is going to be the last product we talk about. If you want to talk about it,
Yeah, I sent you a message about those two already
hmm
when I saw them, because I saw your video on them like the day before or that day or something like that,
right?
and then they looked so promising in the pictures. When you see them in person, they're not. At least in my
Not quite
opinion.
it.
I think that just the bar was set too high. That's it. If they release just that, it's like okay, cool, whatever. Did they put out a price point for these, by the way?
Someone said I think it was $200 boot only, $400 complete is what someone said. I
I'm
didn't
gonna say if
verify
it's a
that.
cheap skate, then yes, that makes perfect sense. It's so weird that Icon makes such high end skates and they put out this.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is interesting.
I
Yeah,
don't know what they're trying to do with that. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. Again,
yeah,
it's like cars. Like Ferraris are just expensive skates. That Icon seems like a Ferrari brand, but they're not like Toyota or Honda making cheap shit too. Like you can't buy a $20,000 Ferrari. That's
right.
why it seems weird that Icon makes this.
Right, it would hurt the Ferrari brand for them to do that.
Exactly, exactly. So it's just Icon seems to be a little all over the place. They're also a new brand too, but yeah, that skate in person was not living up to the hype that it had, I think. And I think that just goes to the fact that they tried recreating such an iconic style of skate, I guess, because it wasn't exactly a Solomon aggressive skate.
Sure.
And that's what we're basing it off of. Like I said, if it just came out like that and people like they didn't announce that it was based off of the Solomon skate or anything, then maybe people have a different perspective on it. Or maybe it's
Yeah.
just me. I don't know. But they, yeah, like I said, it was like the Wish version of like a Wish brand version of a Solomon skate. Like you go on wish.com and you buy like Solomons from there, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, hopefully they dial it in, and we'll see where it goes from here, but it's kind of
Also, it
cool
has
to
like an anti V cut cuff, like the opposite of V cut. It goes up in the back instead of down.
right. It's kind of that like old school vibe sort of.
Yeah, see, that doesn't make that was confusing me too. So that's not good for aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about like regular big wheel skating, but that's definitely not good for aggressive.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with this in the future, but
Yeah,
who
definitely.
knows? It'll be interesting to see, yeah, who skates it and what they think about it too. So
Yeah, for sure.
okay, man, I want to hear about your experience actually skating in a winter clash. Like, how was the actual, were you super jazzed up, pumped, just looking to have a good time? Like actual skating in the event.
I'm never looking forward to skating in the event at all in any contest. But even like the skate park looked fun as hell. As soon as I walked in, I'm like, oh, this is really sick. But it's just I don't like skating in front of crowds. I don't like skating with a million people. Everyone knows the contest vibe. It's just everyone's like, go, go, go. People are hitting each other. People are getting knocked out, like just for colliding. Bobby got messed up.
Oh yeah, I
Bobby
didn't
got
see
knocked
that
out.
yet.
Was that on the live stream or no?
I don't
It was a pro warm ups. I don't know if that was like being
I was
televised
wa-
or whatever.
I don't think I saw it. I think it was off camera.
But you guys know that it happened. Like, was that known
Yeah,
that?
we all knew that
Okay.
it happened. But I can't remember. Shout out in the chat, you guys. If you I don't really necessarily want to see him get a concussion, but I still haven't even seen what happened yet. So let me know in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw he posted on his stories too. Like, if anyone has video of his crash, to send it to him. But
Oh,
he
he
did
was saying that.
yeah, he posted that on his
Oh,
stories.
I didn't see
I don't
that.
know if it
Yeah.
might still be on his stories now. Um,
Oops, not BB, Bobby.
yeah, yeah, I saw him afterwards, and I was like, "Yo, you all right? Like, what's going on?"
Right.
And he was like, it was before the contest actually started. He's like, I need your advice. What do I do? Like, what should I do? I'm like, how do you feel? Like, he's like, I got knocked out for a little bit. Like he was blacked out for a few seconds or something.
Right.
I'm like, that's pretty serious. I'm no doctor or anything like that, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty serious. And his face was like swollen, like his lip and shit was like cut up.
Yeah.
So he did get fucked up. But he was like, he was asking me if he should like skate or not. I'm like, dude, if you feel like you can skate, I say skate, but don't like try to win. Just skate and have fun. Like, don't push yourself. I don't know if you're one of those people who can't control, like, those people just only skate at 10 and that's it. I'm like, bring it down to like a 5, 6 and just skate, chill, do a few crowd pleasers, and that's it. And even there, I was like, can you 360? And he's like, he did like a flat ground 360. He's like, yeah, that felt fine. I'm like, okay, you could probably skate then, because I feel like a 360 would like your mind is spinning, you're jumping, you're landing, it kind of gets all those things going up. And he did it. He's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, yo, go skate, send it, man. Just don't take it easy. I'm like, no flipping. That's what I said. I said, no flipping. I
Yeah.
know he likes the backflip. He's like, all right. And then he goes and he skates and he's like going bigger than everybody else.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I thought I thought something was wrong with the stream because I was like, wait, is this before or after the fall? Like, what is going
Yeah,
on here?
I look over because I think his heat was after mine. So after my heat, I took my skates off, and then I remember going back to go watching it, and all you see is heads, like you can't really see anything, and all you see is Bobby just flying up above people's heads, like flipping and spinning. I'm like, yo, you're not taking it easy. Like
We talked about this.
I think he hit his head also again. Like I meant to ask him
really?
about that too because he had a helmet on, but I think he did something where he fell and he bumped his head on the ground too. I'm like, yo, like that's what I'm saying. Like take it easy. Like there's a head injury. It's not like your wrist or something.
Yeah,
So
it's a different animal. Yeah.
and then he was discouraged also because they didn't let him do the final trick he wanted to do because it wasn't technically in the street course.
Oh, you're talking about the backflip in the bowl?
Yeah, like I don't know what his actual trick was that he wanted to do, but I remember
Yeah.
before the finals, he's like, I'm fucking pissed. Like he was already in a bad mood. I'm like, you can't bring this bad shit in with you. I was like, remember, Brian Shima said you were his favorite skater. Oh, yeah, that's another thing too. Like me, Shima, Aragon, Cameron Carr were talking outside. Bobby, they popped in with the conversation, and Shima just went out to him and was like, dude, you are like my favorite skater right now to watch. And I was like, damn, Bobby must feel like the man after hearing that. Like,
dude, yeah.
Tells you like you're the favorite. And Aragon too was like, yeah, I was just talking about your skating yesterday, how you skate so good. Like you're like that skiing style because Aragon likes to ski. And we were talking about that. And he mentioned how Bobby's style was like a skier. He's so controlled. His style is so good. I'm like, dude, you walked into a conversation with Aragon and Shima both telling you that you're like their favorite skater. Like,
oh yeah,
that's unreal.
Yeah, I can die happy. Like, yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if there's a better feeling than Shima and Aragon both saying like you're one of their favorite skaters to watch.
Yeah, nowadays, like you don't get them both together.
Right, that's insane. That's absolutely insane.
So, yeah, I was like, just if you forget, just remember you're Shima's favorite skater, right? And he wasn't in a good mood for the finals, and I guess it kind of showed because he kind of flopped on his final trick. But I don't know if that backflip was what he wanted to do, but he wanted to do something outside of the street course, and they wouldn't let him do it.
Interesting.
I guess maybe he just threw that backflip, and no one was even watching because no one was ready to go that far to watch him do the backflip.
Right? Yeah. No, it was
live stream was too far.
Yeah. Well, like no, we I don't think we saw it on live at all.
Yeah, it was too far.
It was super unfortunate because I saw the clip of it, and it's like maybe 10% of the crowd or 20, maybe 15% of the crowd actually were able to see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody. It was like on the other side of that grindhouse ledge,
right?
And everyone was on the other side of it because he was originally just grinding it, like launching out of the quarter pipe like how most people do. So he went to the other side, and a lot of people just gave up. And I remember I was like, I don't want to lose my spot. I have a good spot right here. I'm not gonna go to Bobby do his thing, and then no offense to Bobby, but I was like, didn't want to run and lose a good spot to see everything else.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I remember I saw you going for the fakie 5 topsail. For some reason, that whole thing is a little bit of a blur to me, but I do want to bring it back to your experience skating in the comp.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be like first or second try, honestly, but the park got super slippery. I skated it on like Thursday morning or something, and then by Saturday it was so slippery. It was so hard to drop in and get speed and go fakie right there, enough time to hit the box. So that's where I struggled. I would like not really get the speed, and then I would do the whip to do the 540, and my wheels would just slide instead of getting like good traction on it. So I couldn't really get the spin. It kind of pissed me off. I thought it was going to be like first or second try. Like that ledge is perfect. And it was just a slippery park in general, overall.
That was one of the first tricks you went for, wasn't it?
It was the first. I thought it was going to be easy.
It was the first trick. Yeah. Okay.
Just knock that out and be able to go. And like I said, I'm not really trying to, like, when people ask me like, are you competing or whatever? I was like, I'm not competing. I'm going to skate in the contest, but I'm not necessarily competing. I'm just going to skate. Like I'm not trying to do anything. Like if I land one trick, I'm happy. I guess I did the true topsail up the rail, whatever. But I thought the 540 topsail was going to be like the easy one. Just get that out of the way and keep it going.
And that would have been, I don't want to say woulda, coulda, shoulda kind of thing, but I mean that would have been one of the real highlights of WinterClash too, dude. Fakie 5 top.
I don't think so because it's just like the down ledge type of thing. But I just
in my heart it would have been.
Oh, okay, thank you. I heard Bobby's thing where he switched it up. See, I didn't even get to see this.
But you did mention you never look forward to skating. Oh yeah, so here it is right here.
So I don't even know what he really did. Oh, so he just did that and backflipped off. Okay, so
that's kind of signature move.
Yeah, I told him not to flip too, and he flips anyway.
Yeah, there he goes.
Not
off this big, yeah. But you said you don't really look forward to skating and stuff like this. Like, what are your kind of thoughts on it?
It's just not me. I'm not like I like chill sessions, a few homies, that's it. I'm not a show off. I'm not good enough to be a show off or anything like that. So I
Stop,
just
dude.
no, I'm not like you like nothing I do is first shot ever. So like for me to do a contest where you have only 5 attempts at a trick, it's like a waste for me. So I've just never been good at contests anyway. I just don't like the whole vibe. Like there's too much pressure, you know. I
Sure.
just like skating and having fun. But when you're skating and trying to have fun, say you're skating with friends, but you're also constantly looking around to make sure you're not hitting anybody. What's going on? Who's going to fly over your head? And it's just not my vibe personally.
I hear you.
I never look forward to it. I think WinterClash is probably the only contest I actually skate in every year because it is like just to participating in it, just to participate in it is like a privilege on its own.
Sure.
So I always go in like not really trying to compete, but I get there and it's like everyone's having a good time. It's fun. I just want to be part of everything, and it's cool.
Right. Yeah, no, that's you know who I feel like had that same this guy right here. You're just saying like going to skate and have fun and just have a good time. And I feel like that was kind of Eugen's vibe. I mean, he don't get me wrong, he did some actually insane stuff, but he was just having a good time is what it looked like.
He before the final trick, I was talking to him also before this happened, and I'm like, "Oh, so you figure out what you're gonna do? You got it locked in." He goes, "I'm just gonna make a joke, man." He's like, he straight up said, "They said I'm gonna make a joke, man. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be a joke, and hopefully everyone gets a good laugh out of it."
Do a
And that's what it
backflip.
was, the backflip. I'm like, "Oh." Afterwards, I'm like, "Oh, that was your joke?" And he's like, "Yes, I don't think most people are gonna understand it. I think most German people will understand it." But he's like, "Yeah, it's like the do a backflip kind of
Do a
thing."
backflip.
And then Bobby did a backflip too afterwards, but or
Love
before,
it.
whatever it was. But yeah, that was straight up. He said it before. He's like, I'm gonna do a joke for my last trick. I don't know, maybe he just kind of knew he wasn't gonna win it or something, and was just in it to make people smile.
Yeah.
But he just said, I'm gonna make a joke. And then that was his final trick.
I love it. I love it. I think like the crowd was a little bit split, maybe not
Exactly.
down the middle, but it was like, was that serious or was that kind of a troll or was
Well,
it
they expect people the final trick to go big like Joe right here and like just do
right?
the most insane shit ever. And Eugen's like, I guess that's not really his style, you know. Like
Totally.
Eugen doesn't go big. He's a tech guy.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm gonna just go all out, make a joke. He's not gonna try and just have fun with it, and that's what he did.
Loved
And
it.
as far as Eugen's concerned, he got everything he wanted out of WinterClash. Made it to the finals, had fun, made a laugh, and then gets to go home. Didn't get hurt.
Right. Yeah, seriously, didn't get hurt. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
a
a
lot of people were getting hurt. You saw that one spectator that got kicked in the face
oh my god, no. Oh, well, yeah,
on the Limehouse ledge right there.
I don't think we saw yeah, insane. I don't think we saw it on live necessarily because they didn't wanna they made sure Ricardo was made sure not to like film the person
Yeah,
that was hurt and everything.
yeah. I mean, they were
Um,
just laid out on the ground. It wasn't like gory or anything. I don't know
yeah.
exactly what happened. I was there, but there's so many people crowded around. It's hard to actually see what did happen. But
Mhm.
they were laid out for like 5 minutes and they got carried out afterwards.
Oh, carried like on a
I
stretcher.
I think so, yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
so they weren't in good shape, and it sucks because they were just a spectator. You know, they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time and got kicked in the face. And like, you never expect that if you're not skating the contest.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want that to happen at all.
I figured it must have been pretty bad, dude, because you know what like it felt like almost 10 minutes went by on the stream before anything
Yeah,
like
he was.
happened.
That person was down for a while.
Yeah.
Like it also took a while. The paramedics there like weren't the best, like most attentive. Like they
Mhm.
should have been on the course the entire time, you know, like ready to go.
Sure.
They were the first time somebody got hurt, someone got hit. Everyone was calling the paramedics and they just weren't anywhere. They were outside like smoking or something. It took them like a couple minutes to get in, and they should be like right there. They should be on the course with like the media people.
Oh yeah.
Like they should be
Just
right there at all
yeah,
times.
just like on any big sporting event,
Exactly.
especially something like this that's ultra high risk. Like
Yeah,
people are
it's
gonna
football or whatever, like they're on the sidelines, paramedics are ready to
yeah.
go. They were there, but they just weren't attentive enough. And it kind of makes sense in a way because it is hard to get around. It's very confusing. There's a lot of people there, but the organizers should definitely have like a reserved area, or the paramedics should just be on the ground next to the media people. They should just be like, hey, I know you don't skate, but like just stay close to a camera guy and you'll most likely be safe, you know?
Right. Just like here, just hold on to his pocket and don't
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because you
yeah.
don't really know like what direction people are going to go. So
Right.
stick with somebody and just be ready to go. Because a couple of times people got hurt, and it took like a minute or two for the paramedics to get there. And
Yeah.
I think that's a bad thing because if it is a life or death situation, you want to be there ASAP. That
Oh,
minute
totally.
or two could make the huge difference.
Yeah, huge, especially with those head injuries where there can be like significant like internal bleeding and
Yeah,
you need to get to a CT scan and get to the ER or whatever
yeah,
quick.
exactly. So yeah, so the first time someone broke their wrist off of the the them skates straight black ledge, the
Oh,
double
like
sided
an
one.
AM or a junior or
It
something?
was an M. It was the
Yeah.
M on a Friday. They like fell back off it and they put their arm down and the body flipped over and they broke their wrist, I think.
Oh, I
And
heard about that.
that was the first one I think where the paramedics were needed. And the kid was just laying on the ground for like a couple minutes before anyone came in. And then we saw they ran in from the outside, like this lady. She was probably outside having a smoke or doing whatever.
Right.
And yeah, so it's luckily it was just a wrist injury. It wasn't like life or death, but
Sure.
yeah, paramedic, you should be there ready to go no matter what.
Yeah, especially man, especially on something like this where you know people are going to be going as big as possible.
And then afterwards, like that was a gap between like an hour between the finals, and then they announced the winners. There was like an hour long gap.
Right.
Someone who was just standing there, like if the camera pans up, you'll be able to see it, but like that big like spine airing section, rhythm
Yeah,
section.
where Joe Atkinson did his crazy stuff.
Yeah, so like how like the grindhouse thing, like to the left of the grindhouse thing, there's like a regular straight ledge that kind of like has like it's like right next to the rhythm section.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
If it ever gets over to there, you can see it. Well, but somebody was just standing on the ledge and they were probably drunk because everyone's drunk there, but they just fell off it. It's like a
Geez.
Yeah, see all those people sitting right there on the left? Like, yeah, that area kind of where your mouse just was. Like, yeah, see like social roll, you see his yellow, yeah, right there. People are standing right there.
Yeah.
On the other side of that is like a maybe 6-7 foot drop to like the bottom of like the rhythm section. Someone was standing on that ledge when everyone was just hanging out and fell off and hit their head. Like just didn't expect to fall back standing on their shoes. They didn't have skates on and they hit their head. And again, it was like paramedics, and people were like screaming to get the paramedics over. And it took them a couple minutes. I don't remember exactly what happened. That person got carried out. Like they were able to walk out, but they still walked like the ambulance or whatever outside. But yeah, like that too. That took a while. They might have been like, okay, the skating's over. We don't really need to be here anymore. But people are still stupid. And yeah, someone else broke their wrist in 2020 on their ankle on the rail when they were just drunk partying, and like you needed a paramedic for that. So they should be there the whole time. Even when the skating's done, people are still getting hurt.
Yeah. Yep. You get a bunch of drunk rollerbladers together. Someone's going to get hurt even without rollerblades.
That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. It happens every year.
I guess maybe a tough question, but what was your favorite obstacle of the course? If there is one.
I don't know if I had a favorite obstacle. I was having fun after the contest skating that like pole jammy thing that this kid's about to drop.
Oh yeah.
But that like those boxes going up were fun. The them skates ones, all the them skates obstacles. Yeah, that thing was cool.
Yeah.
All the them skates obstacles were really fun, even though they're not crazy. The firecracker was so sick.
Oh yeah.
Things that people were doing on the firecracker rail.
Full alley topsoul. I can't remember who did that.
Did full alley topsoul, which is insane. Another girl, I don't think it was Chihiro. I think it was the other Japanese girl. Alley topsoul did straight up. Someone else true top acid did it, which is like perfect. And just the shit that people were doing on that rail was so sick.
Yeah. Yeah, Yuto with his 270 back to sweaty.
People were getting fucked up on it too, which is, I mean, deserving of that. You saw Oigen, he did like the Makio fish up it.
No, I missed that part, and I didn't want to rewind and miss anything else, so I missed
He did it in his the qualification or whatever. But yeah, he did like Makio fish up it.
That's so sick. That sounds terrifying. It sounds like an Oigen trick, but it also sounds like, for me, I'm just envisioning missing one and then just cracking my face into the.
It's a perfect Oigen trick. Yeah,
it's a perfect Oigen trick. Tree asks, how hard was the rainbow? We talked about it a little bit earlier. Austin was saying it's
impossible.
Like, it's basically impossible. Like Joe Atkinson's trick is
level. Yeah, like people who skate with that type of amplitude, Joe Atkinson, Julien Coudeau, almost any of the French guys, they're all crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, by the way, pause it right there. Yes. So I don't know if they were showing this on the live stream either, but I guess Diaco was hoping to get into the finals, which he didn't get into, but he was practicing for the finals for his final trick to do that spine on the left right there, like that purple, like the second, right there, that one. He was doing like on the first one, he was doing like corkscrew 1080, like 10 feet high, and he would land, come out of that box and gap to the them skates down ledge, the black one.
Out of here?
Yeah, into that down ledge. So he was jumping and like just kind of putting his foot on the ledge. So he was gonna do that for the finals if he made it to the finals, but he never made it to the finals.
Yeah, I just want to be. I can't zoom in because of damn StreamYard, but you're saying from this kind of quarter all the way over to the them gates down ledge.
After doing like a cork 7 or cork 1080 on
Yeah,
that.
in a line.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
he was going like 10 feet. Well, see, like this guy in the red hoodie right there, like on top of it, well
Yeah.
over that head height,
Right,
landing
just like
and then just bombing out of this one to the down ledge. So that would have been sick to see. It sucks that he didn't make it to the finals because I feel like he didn't. I guess he didn't skate too good in the qualifications, but he was killing it all weekend. And you know, someone like him is going to go big and do something
oh,
crazy.
dude, yeah.
So
You know,
seeing that would have made the crowd go insane. They would have gone wild.
yeah, to me, it's a little bit of an interesting, like, you want to judge fairly, but also as a judge, you know, if Diaby gets into the finals, it's going to be crazy.
Yes, I mean Julian getting into the finals obviously also is like, okay, that's
Right.
going to be wild. And when they called my heat for the qualifications, Julian was in my heat. I'm like, okay, like I know how this is going to go down.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy about that. I'm like, oh, no one's going to pay attention to me. They're going to watch Julian the entire
Oh,
time.
right. It sucks. How big was this? Because people in the chat were
What?
well, on Lino's were saying it just didn't look that big.
As far as what?
I mean, just
it is what
size
it
for
is, I
Big
think.
Five here. I mean, was it? A lot of people were saying it was just underwhelming because he just absolutely rinsed it. And
It's only play the whole clip.
okay, let me go back. Let me start it from the top here.
Because
Poland is huge, dude.
yeah, I mean, I think that is just what it is. Like the launch out of that spine on that side is probably 9 feet, 8 feet, something like that. So it's a big launch, and he hits high, but he lands like that mellow bank. It is what it is. I mean, it's cool that he did it. He did it super smooth, obviously David Sizemore style. There's not really much of a danger factor in that because what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty safe. There's no actual gap to clear. You just go big, go high, and that's kind of it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of not that crazy. He just did it really fucking good because he's Sizemore, you know?
Yeah, he made it look so easy. Oh, he went back and did it again, I guess, right? Yeah.
I think he didn't like the landing or something. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. David Sizemore style, you have to land it perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, he's so good, man. So good.
Good.
Shoot, who was I gonna say too? Oh, Nils. I wanted to ask. I still haven't feel like I have a good answer because I didn't actually see Nils heat, or didn't watch him skate, or I just didn't see it.
But well, not for the finals, not for the finals, for the qualifications. He was in my heat for the qualification.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, it's like still spotty for me. Like, did he just not skate very well? Because like I had all my money. I literally am broke right now. I'm poor. I'm homeless.
I wasn't watching. I was in the same heat as him, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Sorry, I didn't put that together.
Yeah,
I'm like, why weren't you watching him while you were skating? In the Jeez.
I just know that when I was doing my thing, I just heard cheers left and right. I was assuming from Julian, but I'm sure everyone else was getting crazy too. But yeah, when someone else is in your heat, it's hard to like pay attention to them when you're trying to figure out what to do, where to go, and shit like that.
Yeah. You know, maybe hot take here, maybe controversial. Do you fully agree with the results of the pro results?
Who got third?
What's his name? Oh no.
I do agree with first and second. That was my prediction. Julian and Joe.
Team Solomon.
Solomon, which is crazy, but that's the world we live in these days.
That's the world we live in. Damn, Brandon had it up.
Yeah, who went third? What the hell?
Haro Frine. Is it Frine? Haro Frine? Yeah.
I'm gonna look. I don't even. I'm sorry. I don't even know who that is.
No, same. Seriously. It was the guy Haro Frine.
Oh, the local kid.
Oh, is he local? Yeah.
Yeah. He was killing it.
Oh my god, yeah. Everything was a line. Everything looked so good.
Yeah, so that kid, at one point I thought he was going to win the whole contest because he was skating that good, and he was doing. Everyone said he's a local kid, so obviously he knows the park probably better than anyone else. That's why I thought Sven was going to do so good too, because Sven knows the park really well. But he was killing it. He was doing twice as many tricks as everyone else because he was just destroying the park, going full speed. He was one of the kids too, who was like easily hitting the rainbow rail because he was going so fast. And everything. His speed,
he was skating faster than just almost anyone else.
I think he was the fastest person out there. He was destroying it. He definitely deserved third. If it's hard to tell with Joe because Joe destroyed it.
Yeah.
That frontside stall thing that he did was insane. Also, that his final trick.
Yeah.
I know. I heard you guys didn't get a good view of that.
We didn't. Not on live.
It's a weird angle, that thing, but the quarter pipe is like 10 feet. It's like 10 feet high to air to that rail, and then he landed it back in the quarter pipe, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It doesn't make sense to me,
I think
man,
that was
like
the scariest trick done by far. Like the
yeah,
bulls.
it looks terrifying. It looks absolutely terrifying, and especially was that vertical support? It looked metal. It looked like
Yeah,
just like a metal support.
yeah, it's like a metal
Oh
rail
my
or
goodness. So it's
whatever.
not even like wood where you
And
might be able
pause
to
right
grip.
there. Can you pause it or no?
Oh, I think so. Hold on.
Pause that at the end because you can see something that no one else could really see. Like
Okay.
because you can see a good angle of what he actually did for his final trick from that shot. And I was trying to explain this to my buddies back home when they were watching the live stream too.
You're saying keep letting it going? Keep
Yeah,
letting
keep
it go?
going. Keep going. Right there, pause it.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. So that's what he did right there, right? So yeah, zoom in right there. So he launched out of the quarter pipe on the bottom right. Stall, yeah, pretty much where your mouse is where that rail was right there. Came back in. But like if he didn't push back out, look down from that quarter pipe where the guy in the yellow is. If
yeah.
he didn't push back, he smashes right into the bleachers.
Oh my
Grandstand.
god.
So you can't see that from any angles in the live stream or anything like that. So think about it. He launched out of a 10-foot quarter pipe. That quarter pipe
Right.
is 10 feet tall. 10 feet higher is that rail, right, pretty much right there. And then he had to push back and land here. So if he bailed in any way and fell down that other ramp, he's smashing right into the grandstands from probably 15, 16, 17 feet in the air.
Right. And basically
He
just
would have been dead. Like
guaranteed to be just die.
yeah,
So
annihilated.
I just want to make sure I'm completely following because he's coming at a slight angle up to that vertical support. He has to
Yeah,
push back against that same
exactly.
angle of approach and come back, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if
That's
like
insane.
somehow I don't do vertical stalls, but if somehow you lost the speed or whatever and you couldn't get that bounce back, he was going down and he would have smashed into the grandstands. So that's
Gotcha.
another reason why he did that, and I was wilding out because I knew that that was an option for him to go down that path.
Right. That is insane. And those are the little things that you just don't know from video. Like those nuanced things that you can't know unless you're there, kind of thing.
Yeah, and from Ricardo's angle, I'm assuming it was filmed from that little area that they have blocked off, which is right next to it. Like it's almost too close to see what's actually happening.
Hmm.
I could be wrong about that, but
Shout out M. Bamelli here. They have a bunch of great compilation of footage and oops. Oh, is that it? Oh, rollerblading fails compilation. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the Bobby Spazov collision.
oh,
Um,
I'm sure he'll post it if someone has the angle and sends it to him.
yeah. Um,
It was Sem Crofts that hit him.
oh, was it?
Yeah, and Sem is
Oh,
like twice his size, so
oh,
I
yeah.
guess that's why Bobby got so much more messed up than he did.
You're saying Sam Crofts or Sem Croft?
Sem Croft. Oh yeah, Sem Croft. Yeah, I'm mixing their names up. Sem Croft is the one who hit him. Yeah, Sem Croft's like 6.5 feet tall, so he's like
Is he
a
really?
big guy.
How was the baby rainbow? Was
I
that
didn't
pretty
hit
fun?
it at all. It looked perfect though. Everybody was hitting that with ease. In
Yeah.
comparison to the other one too, like it looked like that was more along the lines of what the big rainbow should have been, just like something a little more accessible to people.
Right. Right. Um, man, anyone you feel like because we did okay, I don't know if we finished our thought yet or not on the three finals because you called Team Solomon for 1-2, is that right?
Yeah, I called that one. I mean, I think a lot of people did too because when Ricardo was running around interviewing people, asking their opinions, that's what I said, and he told me he's like, yeah, that's like pretty unanimous that everyone said Julian was going to win, and
Right.
if Julian wasn't going to win, Joe was second. There was almost no other option. But I forgot about that other kid, that local kid. He killed it. He was probably overall skating the course better than anyone else, but he probably just didn't do those one or two bangers. Like
Mhm.
absolutely, like, he was skating at a solid like 9 the entire day,
Right.
but he didn't hit tens like Joe and Julian did.
Right. You could see his speed and confidence and consistency. You could tell, you could feel it through the live stream was really, really
Yeah,
strong.
it was exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see that's a good angle of it, but you still can't see what he's actually doing and how crazy it is. He's
Right.
like 20, he's like
And
20
just like you're
yeah when he stalls that thing.
yeah, like imagine he does what I don't want to imagine this because it's just brutal, but like you're saying if he missed, right? If he messed it up, like you're saying, and by the way, whenever you need to call it, just let me know.
No,
But he would run. Oh God, see that's what I don't like about shorts, dude, and I can't skip through
yeah,
it. I don't think. Yeah. Anyway, but he would have gone right down there and like basically just impaled someone and
I
turned them
have an
into
angle from that of something else, but I don't know if I could show it on the screen and it'll pop up, but it'll show like might have a better angle of what it looked like from that side. Because the day before I was sitting up there watching the AMs and I like slid down on my butt,
yeah.
just like sliding down the ramp. and it was scary because that thing was there, you know, and
Right, right.
somebody posted the clip of it, and it's from that angle where you could see what's going on, but it's not my thing. I was trying to like show it on the screen, but I guess not.
Mm.
Oh, here it is.
Are you
Yeah.
sending it to me on
I don't know. It's like it's from my archive, so it's like
oh.
I don't know how this is gonna
Oh, let me
translate.
see if I can
All right, so yeah, that's like I just slid down on my
oh,
butt, like
wow, dude, you aren't kidding.
so like it's pretty narrow right there. Then if you miss, you see on the right the grandstand right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just go right in there.
Dude, you weren't kidding.
So like it's oh,
Yeah,
did
that's like certain death.
how did I lose this? Oh man, how'd it go? I'm in the archives, not even on my actual stories. I'm just in the
Yeah, yeah.
archives. But yeah, it's pretty much death. Like going into that is death.
That's absolutely terrifying. Terrifying. Um,
It was wild. Wow.
man, anyone you met at WinterClash that you were pretty hyped about or no?
There had to have been. I mean, I never met Tom Moist before. I got to meet
Oh,
Tom
there you go. Cool.
very briefly. It was always like just passing by type of shit.
Yeah.
Um, I know there definitely was people that I never met before. I mean, it was always good catching up with like the homies or people you don't get to see that much. Like I got to hang out with Aragon a bunch all
Mhm.
weekend. That was fun. Ricardo got to hang out with him a bunch.
Yep.
Shima got to have a bunch of conversation with him a lot. So just those are like my highlights, kind of just being able to do that. Even skating with like Wizard with Vitzman the few nights before was like one of my highlights. Just doing shit like that, and then the contest is kind of like secondary to that, you know.
Right.
Super Bowl was fun too. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl live?
We did. Yeah. I think it was 2,000. I think it maxed out at 2. No, it didn't. It was 1,000. Hit 1,000
A
people
lot of
watching.
people for a live stream.
Yeah, 1,000 people and then 3,000 people for the finals.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's pretty cool. Super Bowl is always a good time, always fun. It's always like every year when it happens, like how are they going to top it? How are they going to top it? There was less people, I think, competing in the Super Bowl this year, but it was still super entertaining and super fun.
yeah. Best food. Blade Till Dead says best food you ate there. Anything that stands out?
That was my least favorite part of it was the food because
Really?
Eindhoven's like a town where everything closes at like 8 o'clock.
Oh,
It's
lame.
like when you leave the skate park, everything is closed, and it's like I had McDonald's 2 days in a row because that's the only thing that's open late at night there.
Oh,
So like McDonald's at like 11 o'clock at night would just be packed with skaters because
right.
the only thing open. And I never eat McDonald's, and I had to have it twice, and it was disgusting. I even like one night I was walking by myself to McDonald's. I passed by Montre was like rolling a doobie by himself, like on a bench.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what up, man? I kicked it with him for a minute. He's like, yeah, I just came from McDonald's. I'm like, I'm about to go there now. And like Yuto and Ren and those guys like walk by and they're like, oh, we're going to McDonald's. And I like joined them. And then, yeah. And the little kid in the borough had McDonald's 3 times that day, apparently.
Oh,
Like it was horrible. So it's like, no good food. The best food I had was like a fucking bakery for one of the mornings where we had breakfast. Like that was the only local food we ate. Other than that, you just eat at the skate park or you just go to McDonald's late at night because you spend the whole day at the skate park pretty much, you know?
right. Yeah, yeah.
And by the time you're done there, everything's closed.
Um,
Oh,
we
KFC
talked
was open too. Yeah, my bad.
little fried
KFC and
chicken action.
KFC didn't take any of my credit cards though. That's another thing about Eindhoven. It's weird.
Ah,
A lot of places like only take cash or don't take a lot of major credit cards. Yeah, KFC. I wanted KFC to switch it up from McDonald's, but they didn't take any of my credit cards, so I had to go to McDonald's.
um, yeah, jeez. Yeah, that
Oh,
doesn't sound. I'm like all amped up. I'm like, oh, he must have had some great food, but that's tough.
no, I don't. What are they known for in Holland besides like stroop waffles?
Yeah, I have to be honest, I have no idea.
I didn't have
They'll-
any stroop waffles though. I'm a little disappointed in that, but I
Yeah.
honestly don't know what Netherlands is known for food wise besides stroop waffles.
Yeah, I guess I just assumed that there'd be something dope besides
We did,
waffles.
however, go to the Saturday night. We did. Julio found a restaurant that was open like super late. It was like a Turkish place, a kebab spot.
Yeah.
And there was like 10 of us, and we just got like 2 of the biggest plates of food. They were like, we had plates of meat. We're like, just give us all the food you have. Like, we have big plates of meat that feed like 5 people. We're like, okay, we'll take 2 of those. Just give us a bunch of meat and a bunch of rice. And the girl was like, "Are you sure? It's a lot of food." We're like, "Yes, we're hungry." And they pulled it out, and it was like 2 plates, like Thanksgiving turkey size, of just stacks of all types of meat, like weighing
Nice.
20 pounds each. It was ridiculous. It was
Nice.
actually really good though, and that was like the best food I had probably. It was just kebab food pretty much.
Dope Tag says we covered this a little bit, and I have a follow-on question. But did you like the obstacles this year? You said they did a pretty decent job with the layout ish. I mean,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I would say like except for the rainbow rail,
Yeah.
everything was sick. Like the local thing, the quarter pipe to the thing I skated that the day before was awesome. Like the little transfer to the coping there, that was super fun. The them skates ledges, those launch to the down one and launch to the up one was super cool. The firecracker rail was like probably the highlight of the weekend. Anything
Yeah.
that people were skating. Oh, I was so sick, Mizuta.
Yeah. Jeez.
The fact that people were switching up on that was crazy. But
Oh my
like
God, I know.
when everybody was just skating, if anybody did anything on the firecracker rally, even if it was a royale, just because it made such a cool sound, it got like a cheer from the crowd.
Right.
So no matter what it was, people loved the firecracker rail.
Yeah.
The Rossi's boxes and the rail was sick. That rail was perfect. That down rail, the
Mhm.
USD, that the pole jammy thing was really cool. So I think overall, compared to past years, the obstacles were just generally better this year
Sick.
than last year. It just sucks that that rainbow rail was so hard to skate.
Yeah. Anything, moving on from the obstacles, but anything about the event itself that any suggestions you would have for the next one to improve?
Hmm. I don't know. That's tough. I think we talked about the medics being
Sure. Yep.
on point. I don't know. It was
Anything food wise? Because we
yeah.
talked
I
about
mean,
food a
the
little
food
bit.
could always be better. All there is to
Yeah.
eat was they had really shitty pizzas, and then it was fine. Oh, we lost you.
I'm still here. I'm still
Okay,
here. Sorry.
change battery.
Yeah, the old battery time. You know how it goes.
All right, but like on Thursday they had pizza on the menu, and I remember I was with Jason Reyna, and he's like, I asked them, "Can I have a pizza?" And they're like, "Oh, it starts tomorrow." The pizzas. And he's like, "Oh, well, are they good?" And the guy like looked over, and he's like, they got brand new ovens, like pizza ovens."
Yeah.
And he looks at the ovens and goes, "Well, we got new ovens, so they got to be good." And like that's all he answered to it. He's like, "Oh, I know they're shitty pizzas, but
Yeah.
I guess the job done." They're like 12 euros each. Those little shitty pizza. And then there's like a food truck downstairs that has really good fries. Actually, they give you like fries in a bag. It's like a European thing,
Yeah.
like fries with like just sauce on it, which is really good. The worst hamburgers of all time. So the fries are good. I will give them that, but that's probably the only good food they have there. So if they had like maybe multiple food trucks, if that's possible, I know that that one food truck guy would probably be pissed off about that, but multiple food trucks would be nice. And I know there's no shortage of beer there and water and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
I think everything was pretty good though. Like
Yeah.
it's organized really well. Like everything is pretty on point, pretty on schedule. They even included the grandstands right on the left, which they never done in the past, as far as I could recall.
Mhm.
So there's like half the skate park is missing, but it's because of the grandstands. Otherwise, there'd be no room for any people. So
I was gonna say that seems like the biggest struggle for events like this. Where do you put all these humans to
yeah,
spectate?
yeah. So it is tough. Even like the way it was set up, it was still hard to find a spot unless you were just camping out pretty much to get hold it down.
Right.
I always try to sneak in there. I always try to like, I'm usually skating the courts in between heats. So I'll just
Mhm.
like sit on a quarter pipe or something. And I usually am able to get away with that.
Nice.
Yo Zeng was killing it too. He's like one of my favorites to watch also. He was
Yeah.
doing everything like first shot, super easy, but he got hurt, I think.
Oh, is that what happened?
It is
There
real.
was quite a few people that got hurt, huh?
Yeah, a bunch of people got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Dang.
Unfortunately. That's what happens at these events though.
That's how it goes. Yeah. It's just the
When
pay
you're
to
sending
play.
it full send, it's rough.
Yeah. You
That
know
was really sick, by the way.
what the hell? What the hell is that?
He did that during the contest too. I didn't know he did that beforehand. It was like
A, s-
yeah, it looked like his foot was Sunny Torque.
a sunny torque. I dig it.
When he did it in the contest, I thought his back foot was hovering. Like I don't know if you remember, Sayer
Oh.
Danforth used to do like a like almost a Savannah, but his
Yeah.
back foot was floating.
Yep.
We used to call it a floating Savannah. I thought that's what he did, but apparently in this one, his foot's down on like his shin, kind of.
Yeah.
I think
It's
the one he did in the contest, his foot was up, unless I just assumed that it was up.
I heard Biz because I saw him do this, but the live stream was too far away to see what this was. And I heard Biz talking about it, like he was confused, and I was like, Was it not a porn star? It looks like it's like a
His
torque.
angle too, from where he was, is probably really hard to
Yeah.
see because he's
It,
like right in the background there, like it's behind it.
I
I was in
like
the front when I saw it.
I like Sunny Torque, but this reminds me of a mixture of a torque and a sidewalk a little bit. So
It
it makes me
yeah,
want to think about a torque walk a little bit almost. Oh, maybe not a sidewalk. I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
It looks
um,
like it's like a top torso, but your top side footage is almost on the shin.
r-
He is on the shin. He's just not sitting on it like you would normally.
yeah, that's a new one.
That is a new one, but he's like one of my favorites to watch skating too. I never really like skate with him in person. He's so good. Everything is like first shot with him.
So part of that Nick Lomax interview with Ricardo, I call it an interview, but this segment, whatever you want to call it. But like Lomax, he was boozing pretty good,
Yeah,
but he was saying it was like, he showed up early, and it was almost like not even almost. He said like he showed up early to get dialed in, to get warmed up and whatever, and he shows up and he's like almost discouraged because everyone's landing tricks that are way harder than he is. And I just thought, and everyone in the chat was like, oh my God, like even Lomax gets like butterflies and has like, some level of performance anxiety. And you're looking at people around you warming up and being like, holy shit, they're doing stuff that's way harder than I'm doing.
that's what's always intimidating about contests too. Because like, unless you're the first person to show up, even if people are there for a half hour, they're warmed up already. They're flying at shit. So
Right.
if you show up, like you could like walk into the park and see shit like this already. And Joe's probably been there since the second it opened. They're like warming up already.
Right. And one thing he said was like at contests like these, it's not necessarily about how good the best person doesn't necessarily win. It's kind of who has the most confidence
Yeah.
in a situation like this.
Mhm.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I completely agree with that too.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I feel like I do so bad at contests too. I'm like always insecure about just, I don't know, maybe just skating in front of all these people or something. I don't know, but that makes a huge difference too. I think confidence goes a long way in almost any aspect of life.
Sure.
If mentally you feel like you could do it, you probably can do it. But if you're doubting yourself in any way, it's gonna bite you in the ass.
Right. I mean, it's cliche to say, but I think it's so true. Is like, whether you think you can or you can't, you're probably right,
Yeah.
or whatever the quote is. Right.
Can I run for a pee break?
Sorry.
Can I run for a pee break real quick?
Oh yeah, send it. Yeah,
Like
yeah, for sure.
1 minutes. All right, cool.
Yeah, of course. All right. If you guys have any questions for Austin, let me know. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit longer. I think we've been live for almost an hour and a half, so we'll call it here before too long. Been a great stream. Super fun having Austin on. Curious what you guys think was. Do you agree? Was the backslide the best trick? Let me know in the chat. Was Joe Atkinson's backslide the best trick, or was there another trick that you feel like could take it, or maybe there's a little them skates weekend collaboration. I have mine right over there. Enhance. I'm not on OBS, so I'm on the struggle bus right now with this setup. Oh man, I'm about to send my camera for the whole ride. Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, we're catching up with Austin Paz. He's taking a little bit of a bathroom break right now, but thank you everyone for being here. 85 people. Make sure to like the stream. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Go check out Jump Street Podcast. They did what am I at? Over here. I'm gonna duplicate this. They did a bunch of interviews. If you haven't seen them already, Nils, Richie Eisler. So make sure to go check out those live streams, those interviews from Jump Street Podcast. And then shout out questions in the chat for Austin if you have them. You guys have been really great about it. But yeah, here we go. Eisler, Cody Lampman, and Nils. So definitely go check those out if you haven't already. And make sure to subscribe and follow Jump Street Podcast with Austin Paz, Billy O'Neill. I do want to see if we can find some Billy O'Neill action. I saw he did one. Oh my God, he did one illusion. Have you guys seen this? Oh, me, Bill. He did the like an illusion tops. Oh no, it's gone. Dude, where is it? Oh, dude, it was so sick too. He did this illusion topsole on like the down rail. Oh, Austin's back. You're back.
Hello. Are you looking for Billy's clip?
Yeah, the kind of illusion topsoul or outspin topsoul. I can't remember
It
exactly
was
what
on
it
his
was.
story. It might have expired by now.
Yeah, I just we just looked and it's expired, unfortunately. That's the bad thing about these damn stories, dude.
I know.
Ugh. You see it and then you go to show people and the next day it's gone. But maybe
I'll
save it. Did you archive it for us?
No, I don't have it.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to ask Billy about that now, but he's doing his Mesmer thing in Holland still.
Yeah.
I was looking through my like photos and shit on my camera.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep cursing. I'm sorry.
No, send it. You're good. As long as it's not in the first 15 seconds of the this is gonna probably get demonetized anyway, so whatever.
I know. I almost like gave up on it. I'm like, because my blank review, I thought I used royalty-free music, but apparently the first song I used was I got like flagged for it when I had it on private first. And I was like, damn, I want to like find a new song so it doesn't get demonetized. And I'm looking at all my other videos, like the revenue that I've made on videos that made like 5,000 views, whatever. I'm like, I could afford to like I'll take the $20 deficit to just put the video out the way it is, like it's so minimal for us. And I'm just like, whatever at this point. I think a lot of people have gone that way too, because YouTube doesn't necessarily take your video down anymore. It just gives the monetization to whoever created the music or something. So I'm just like, whatever. If we're getting like 10,000 views and you get $40 for it, like whatever, I could stand to lose $40 just to put the content out the way I want it.
Exactly. And I do that periodically myself, where I'm like, I'll knowingly sometimes go into it. I'm like, I'm just gonna make this video with the song I really want, and I'll take the hit.
Yeah, and then you can put it up like private first to like see how they're gonna react to it.
Oh, that's true.
Or you have to put it live, because sometimes you put it live, it'll just take it down if you do use one of those songs or something like that. But yeah, I'm looking through my videos and stuff, and I was outside. It was just me, Brian Shima, and Leon Humphreys, and we're having a conversation, and someone like comes up to Shima and he's like, oh, you got to see this, and he pulls up his arm and he has like remember the Shima 2s, the graphic on the back of the liner where it said Shima, it was like
the big wait, I think so. It's not the big just Razor's logo.
Yeah, it's like it might be, I don't know if it was specific for his skate or if it was just a regular Razor logo. Was it?
Okay.
But I guess it is a Razor logo. I thought it was specific to the Shima 2. Yeah, see that one with the white cuff to the left of that logo on the cuff. I mean on the liner. The R on the top of the liner.
Oh, my bad. I'm looking at the cuff.
That's like the logo. So I guess that's just a Razor logo, right? I always thought that was a Shima logo. But someone showed up, was like, yo, I have this tattoo. It was old as hell. It looks like he got the tattoo when the skate dropped in like 2002, whatever. And he's like, I've been wanting to like do something else, like to add to this tattoo. And he gives him a Sharpie. He's like, can you sign the tattoo? And I'm going to get your signature tattooed on.
Oh my God, no way.
And I filmed it because it was just so ridiculous. And Shima was like, wow, are you serious? He's like, you really want me to do this? And he signed right under it. And this guy's going to get, I don't know, he's not taking a shower for the next few days or something, but he's going to get Shima's autograph tattooed on him. What about the Yandriel people?
Oh my God. Love it.
Those guys.
I swear to God, like the Yandys, I don't know, between Yandy, the Yandy crew and Eugen just like having a good time. And I don't know, man, it was such a treat just to be even just a viewer on the live stream and seeing all this happen. It was just so much fun, dude. Yeah,
I can imagine. I mean, there was so much going on that there was never like a dull moment the whole weekend, the whole night.
Never. Yeah. Tree makes a good point here. YouTube does have a whole library free of copyright free music, and it's straight from the source, so you're not going to get hit for that. I haven't explored that enough yet.
I haven't explored that either. I usually do because I do when I do my wedding videos, that's what I do for work. I make like wedding videos, and I have like royalty free music sites, but I don't even put my wedding videos on YouTube, so I never like noticed it. But apparently they give you something that you could send into YouTube if it gets flagged, and they whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Usually when you like create something, you have a song or type of song in mind, and almost nothing else. Like it's easy to say that, but I mean, Tree, you're a creator too. We're stubborn. Like,
oh, totally. I want it to turn out the way I'm envisioning it, kind of thing.
Yeah, very stubborn.
They did actually mention this a couple times about the smell. Was talking about like feet and beer and sweat. Was it not notable?
No,
I think it might have been just more fun to talk about.
So
I love the old mind game stuff. Sorry.
Well, who's that?
He has like a mind. You can
Oh
kind of
yeah,
keep
I
it.
see it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Mankind kind of shirt.
yeah,
Um, so you couldn't really hear the MC Miguel talking on the live stream. It was more Ricardo and Biz
yeah,
talking.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Because
yeah,
it's
totally. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, to answer, yeah, it was totally. They had the competition audio basically turned down to where you could still hear,
yeah.
but the commentators were clear
Okay,
and
that's
loud.
what I figured. I guess that makes sense. That's how they do it in real world, also, right?
Hmm.
Sporting events and shit.
Right.
I don't watch sports, but
It was super professional. Super professional.
I gotta pop in there and see because multicams with them commentating for 10 hours, like I think that sounds pretty legit, and I hope he keeps doing it more and more.
Yeah,
But
big time.
Miguel is the man, like the MC Miguel.
Yeah,
I feel like he is WinterClash almost. Like if he wasn't involved somehow, he couldn't MC for whatever reason. Like WinterClash would never be the same.
yeah.
That's also another thing too that you don't get when you're watching home. That you don't get Miguel's commentary because he's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he says shit that I don't even want to say on your live stream because I
Right.
cursed up already. But
Well, we heard so on the Super Bowl there wasn't commentary, so all we heard was him, and it was a riot, dude. Just
that's a little
talking
taste of that.
shit to everyone. Oh my god, it was
Yeah. So he's like, he hates when people bring beer on the course
yeah.
and because people spill beer and like you fuck
Right, it's
up like all these
dangerous.
people.
Yeah.
And he's always like, for all you who have beer on the course, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. He's like, if you are standing next to somebody that have a beer, punch them in the face now. Like that pisses him off more than anything when people bring beer on the course. But Miguel's like the nicest guy ever.
Right.
But like certain things just grind his gears, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And one of the things is people spilling beer on the course. And every time it's like usually during the finals, like the last tricks, when people like moving around and like jumping up and down ramps, like people will spill their beers and people have to like come with like mops and squeegees and get rid of it because you're messing up this person's final trick.
Right.
And it happened
You're
in
taking away. Yeah.
yeah, it happened in a Super Bowl too. There was like someone spilled beer on top of the coping where Diaco was getting speed for the rail. And I don't think he noticed it then, but
Yeah.
during the contest every year, he's like, I fucking hate you. Like, and he has like a really scary, he could be have like a really scary voice when he wants to be. So it's like pretty funny. But he's the man. Like, I feel like he's half of what WinterClash is so good. Like what they do so well is like he's the best MC. His energy, his vibe, the things he says is all perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get that in the live stream. Hopefully, if you make it next year, you'll get to experience that.
Totally. And hopefully with the edits that come out and stuff. I don't know. I know there's some raw stuff like we had MB Bamelli in the chat right now with a bunch of raw footage on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That we're watching right now actually. But
Okay.
so the audio's in there too. Actually, we're watching in 4K. I'm going to turn it down so we don't clog up everything.
Sorry.
I think Bolino mentioned this, but MH says, Austin, do you have insight why Bolino did not take part in the comp? He hurt his hamstring. I think he said something about a pulled hamstring or something like that.
Did he? I didn't notice, but he was warming up for the pro comp.
Oh, that's
Maybe
right.
he hurt himself warming up because he was trying to do on that A-frame thing. He was doing like alley-oop wall ride on the plexiglass to like forward sole on the ledge, and he kept trying it and kept like he was pissed off that it was taking him like a few tries to get it.
Oh, interesting.
He was falling the whole time though. Maybe he hurt his hamstring during that. I don't know, but he was skating and he was sending it like right before the contest started. So
okay, yeah. Cause I remember he was talking with Biz. He kind of kept making little cameos behind Biz and Ricardo. It was super fun
during the actual contest.
No, it was prior to. Like while the AMs and juniors were all doing.
This was the kid that filmed me dropping in that ramp sitting down. The one that Joe did. I didn't know he was like. Do you know this guy's name?
Christian, the guy skating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Turbo. I think it's Turbo Henio on Instagram. If that helps you out. But it's Christian something.
Dude, he's so good.
Oh my god, he's so good.
He was sitting next to me. He's the one who filmed me dropping in the thing, and he was sitting next to me during the AM contest. So that's him. His hair is different in his picture. I might have not recognized him before.
Yeah, Christian Zarskiny. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The dude is a monster.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like he was sitting next to me the whole time. He was super quiet, like barely said anything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm gonna drop in this sitting down, and I did it. And then later that night, I saw he posted a story of me like sliding down on it. I was like, oh, that's cool. He tagged me in it, whatever. And then he made it to the finals the next day. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I didn't know this kid was like a monster like that. Like, just
that's so funny. You gotta love that shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what these things are about. He didn't like, I don't know. He was just such a quiet guy. Like, he was cool and everything, but he was just so quiet. And like, I wouldn't picture him to be such a beast on skates like he was.
And I get that vibe. I've followed him on IG for a long time now, and I posted something. I like shared one of his clips. I'm like, this is my favorite skater that I don't know, even know who it is.
Mm,
I
yeah.
mean, so and you get the vibe too, just from his social, that he's like a very kind of quiet, reserved sort of guy.
I thought he didn't speak
And
English at first because he wasn't really talking to me. So
right.
and at these events, like I mean, us from America coming there too. Like everybody, there's every 2 seconds there's a different language here. People speaking German
Oh
here,
yeah.
French here,
Yeah.
Polish here, Russian. Like everybody's speaking a different language. So I just assumed that maybe he didn't really speak English that well and couldn't communicate, but he spoke English well, I guess afterwards. Yeah, that was smooth as hell. He's really
Oh
good.
yeah.
Woo! That
His
was good.
switch up game and fast slide, dude. I mean, like he is so good and so stylish, dude.
Yeah,
Love his skating.
style.
Oh, that rail, dude. Whew.
He's so sick. I would have never guessed that sitting next to him. that he,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, that actually, I think that was actually a big deal. He
really?
actually, I don't know if that was his rib injury. I think recently he hurt his ribs significantly. I'm not sure if that was it or not, but
That's why P-rails are scary. I don't know how you mess around with them so much.
I
That's like
know
the
I almost killed myself the other day, yesterday actually, trying some stupid switch up and almost took myself out, bro.
Yeah, I think those are the most dangerous obstacles, P-rails,
Mhm.
and you love them. People like you, like the Kelsos, they terrify me.
It's so strange how skating, like, some obstacle that you love to skate, I am terrified of, and the other people, it's wild, man.
It's funny too because the same thing that Rossi's rail and box. When me and Vitzman first
Oh
got
yeah.
there on Thursday morning, we were looking at that. I'm like, "Oh, this down ledge is perfect. It's the
Mhm.
perfect down ledge." And he's like, "What? This thing is scary as hell." I'm like, "How? It's perfect." And then he looks at the Rossi's rail. He's like, "This rail is perfect. I can't wait to skate this." I'm like, "That rail is scary as hell."
Yeah.
Like so right there and then like shows off the bat like how people could view things so differently.
That's what I love, man. I love it makes it difficult sometimes too, because like if I'm reviewing a pair of skates, like I might hate them, but you might absolutely be in love with them, kind of
Exactly.
thing,
That's
you
why
know?
skate reviews are kind of I wouldn't say stupid to watch, but take them with a grain of salt, no matter who's reviewing
Absolutely.
or anything like that. It's completely different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because like I don't really like my experience with the 909s. I'm not like a huge fan, but I
I
know
just
like
heard that on your other live stream earlier today. I'm like, damn, you don't like the 909s?
I think it was the sizing. I think I'm right. I'm one of those medium people that like the medium I think will change my mind.
Mhm.
But for some reason, like I changed, or I was using the medium shell 909s, the brain deads, and they just felt big on my feet. They felt disconnected. So I think the medium, I think it was a sizing issue.
Yeah, that was half the reason why I stopped riding them too. I was in between the small and the extra small.
Uh,
But I tried the not so extra smalls on this weekend and they fit
ooh,
like a glove. So I might go back
ooh.
to them afterwards.
Did you try them on with stock liners or intuitions?
I so they had in there only shells. You had to put your own liners in. I wasn't gonna put my
Ah,
faction liners in because my faction liners are honestly too small for me already.
oh,
My buddy Tato was there though. He had medium intuitions, which is what I normally ride. So I
yeah.
put them in. They were a little too big. So I'm hoping that when they do come out with them, they have like I don't know how they come out with them now, but it's not like small, medium, large liners anymore. It's like
Mhm.
I don't know, 8.5, a 9.5 liner. So I hope they come out with some sort of sizing like that for the not so extra smalls because
Right.
I don't really like a small intuition. It's too tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
But
Um,
yeah, the fit it matters. That's why I was riding the blanks for so long too, because the blanks fit my foot so good
mm,
that it's like at our age, like we consider the comfort and fit better than the actual performance of the skate. Not that the blanks perform bad. I still love the way they perform, but that's such a major selling point for a skate nowadays. If it fits your foot good, like stick with that.
absolutely. And that's just at the beginning of the stream, someone asked the same thing, like, "Hey, what skate should I get?" And it's like, dude, whatever fits and feels the best. you
Yeah,
know,
it's hard to say.
it is hard to say. It's impossible to say because like I said, like you could love a skate and I might hate it.
Yeah.
Damn, what was I gonna say? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Tree got a good question about the suspension frames.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was. I think that was it.
I was going to talk about that for the product thing. um,
Yeah. Sorry. Did you
I don't know
did you
why
get a
they're
chance to handle those and stuff?
yeah, I saw them. At first when I caught wind of them before this thing, I didn't know they were gonna like show them here at the event, but I've seen like leaks of them,
Yeah.
and they at first I thought it was gonna be like a CRS competition, like a physics CRS type of frame,
Right.
which is not at all. It's completely different. So I don't even know why
Mm.
they're really calling it a suspension frame. I think that's misleading.
Mm.
Do you grasp the concept of the frame at all in any way? Because I
It's
couldn't at all unless I held it and did it.
No, not really. I was under the impression that was the same sort of technology as the CRS frames. Is it not?
No, not at all. I have to like draw it maybe to like. so you get like an idea of it. I am not a good drawer, as you remember from my
Hogwash.
video. All right, so is there like a horizontal, like a profile shot of the frame in that clip at all? That you can pull?
I think I
Okay, right
no,
there. Okay,
yeah.
so see how there's like a bolt, a big black bolt in between this first and second and the third and fourth right there?
Um,
Yeah, see that right there? That's a bolt.
oh, that's a bolt head. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So pretty much wheels 1 and 2 work together and wheels 3 and 4 work together, and
Yep.
they work like a seesaw. So
Oh,
like when one goes up, one goes down like this.
yeah,
So
okay.
the concept is, from my understanding, from what like Eugen was explaining to me, was that when you drop like, and also you can wiggle them around easy just by doing this. Like that's how loose they are in the
Uh-huh.
skate. A CRS frame, you can't do that. You have to like put muscle into it,
Right.
like, move the bushings up and down. But for that one, like they rocker side like that. Like third and fourth wheel go up and down, first and second wheel go up and down. So the concept I think is that when you skate transitions, when
Mhm.
you're hitting like the knuckles and stuff,
Yeah.
the wheels will rocker so that all four wheels are touching the ramp at the same time.
So it translates more power to the ground kind of thing,
I
or
guess so. See there, you see the bolt head more, and then that
right.
way, if you go opposite way, if you go over like a hump, like it kind of contours to the hump a little bit, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work in the way that if you land a gap, all four wheels are gonna absorb the shock. That doesn't, it doesn't
Wow.
work like that.
Okay, this is important to understand big
It's
time.
so
Holy
hard.
shit.
It's so hard to explain that through just like looking at pictures or anything. Like they got to do a proper video explaining what this.
Right, like an animation or something that
Yes,
shows the
exactly.
so it's really more of like almost like a rock crawler suspension sort of
Yeah, yeah. It's like how a
interesting.
tank, like an alternate, like a tank, like kind of like
Right.
contours. You're an army guy. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from that. So it doesn't. That's why I'm confused about why they call it a suspension frame. I guess. I mean, I'm not a
Huh.
engineer or anything like that, so I don't know if suspension is used in that. But that's the vibe of those frames. It doesn't absorb shock like a CRS frame does.
Right.
It just contours to ramps and uneven grounds for a smoother ride.
That's really interesting.
If that's correct and makes any
Yeah,
sense.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what
And I
that bolt is too. It's like it works like a seesaw. If one goes up, one goes down. They both can't go up at the same time.
right. That's really interesting. Lee says that they aren't overly heavy.
Nah, I wouldn't say so either. They, even though there's a lot of metal inside of it, it felt just
Mhm.
as heavy as like a normal flat rocker frame. Maybe a little heavier. I mean, it has to be a little heavier because look how much metal's in there.
Sure.
But I'm not one of those people who care about the weight of anything anyway. If I rode those frames and I love those frames, I would ride them. I don't care how heavy they are.
Totally.
My CRS frames are heavier than most other frames too, but that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
What I get out of them is much more beneficial than the weight.
hmm I think that's important to understand too. It's like, weight isn't everything for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm gonna make a video on that, like testing
I
out the
like
weight
it.
space and if it matters and jumping high and stuff like that.
I like
Um,
it.
People always complain about the blanks being so heavy,
Yep.
and I'm like, who cares? So
Right. It's interesting. I think I don't know because I want to respect people that maybe for whatever reason they think they're more sensitive to weight or maybe I don't know, but in my opinion it's like the design and performance excluding weight is it should come first in my opinion for
yeah,
me anyway.
so many people are like, oh, these skates are lighter. I'm getting these like the Aeons or whatever. And to me, I prefer the weight, honestly.
hmm
I feel like it just feels more solid under your feet. But another one of my friends, Matt, he was like, well, if you have like a knee injury or something, you might want less weight on your feet because there's less strain on your joints or something. And I'm like, I kind of get that, I guess. But generally, overall, I feel like the weight is a good thing. It's like having like a big fat gold chain, like not a fake plasticky one that like you could tell like by holding it, like if it's like a real gold chain or not, like by the
right.
weight.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Dope Tag says I think weighty skates are more stable. I think they just have a more solid feel.
I think like even just, I mean, if you skate ramps too, the weight on the skates is good. Like the
Yeah.
power transfer you feel when you're dropping in, like that weight, I think helps a lot.
Yeah, big time. It's funny. I had a buddy that was skating. I can't remember what skates, but he was skating Brams, and he went to something that was way lighter, like Aeons or something. Like it threw him off. Like he hated it. He hated how light they were. Couldn't stand
Yeah.
it.
What I was what I got used to when I was riding the Aeons, the Aeon 80s. They were much lighter than any other skate I was riding.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, this is the best. I just something I noticed. It didn't
Right.
change my skating at all in any way.
Right.
It's just a feeling. Yeah,
Man,
he's right too. The weighted skates, you notice it like right in the beginning, and that's it.
it's
Once your body
true.
adapts to it, that's it.
To me, and I know I may be alone in this, Austin, in this opinion, but for me, excluding grinding, I feel sort of the same way with anti-rocker and flat. Like I notice it the first 10 minutes, and then I sort of like people say like I feel like I'm on railroads, or I feel like the flat you can turn really well. But like for me, like I forget which if I'm riding flat or anti after 10 or 20 minutes of skating personally.
I would have agreed with you too if I didn't just try anti-rocker like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was when I did the blank review, I wanted to ride the skate stock the way they came.
Right. Oh, and they come anti-rocker, right?
Anti-rocker. It was a horrible experience. And that was after like me and Billy did the podcast where he was like, I think you should have like two setups, one or the other, and like it's good to swap back and forth. And I was like, you know what? I hadn't rode anti-rocker in a long time. I'm open-minded to it. I want to give it a shot again. I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to try anti-rocker again. It was horrible. Horrible. And you like you said, like I thought I would get used to it after a few minutes. I didn't. I posted a clip of my stories of me eating shit on a rail because I like was skating up to the rail, and then I would normally, I guess I would just like swivel and kind of adjust, and I couldn't do it. And I went to go jump, my feet stuck on the ground, and I just cracked my ribs on the rail. It was horrible.
Geez.
So, and I felt like 3 times just turning on the ground. Like I wasn't thinking about it. I would normally just like swivel my feet and turn. I couldn't do that anti-rocker. So we would be skating and I would like turn around, just like stop, and I would just bust my ass. Yeah. It was bad. I didn't enjoy it at all. I don't regret going back to flat in any way. I'm confident I'm sticking with flat for probably the rest of my skate career. Mm-hmm. People do love it though. And some people, it doesn't matter to them, but maybe I'm just so used to riding flat and the wizard skating style that anti-rocker is just that far out for me now. It's way harder than it was before. And I rode anti-rocker for like a decade or more.
Yeah. I think in my opinion, that's exactly what it may be, is that once you really, really, really get used to flat and embrace it, and especially with your wizard skating and a lot of your swivelly, really like technical flat maneuvers, it seems like it may be a little bit more difficult to go back to anti-rocker than vice versa.
Yeah.
It may be. I don't know. I might just be way off my rocker here.
No, I definitely, you're 100% true on that. But like people like Alex Brosco rides anti-rocker and still is able to do like little, not wizardy, but still kind of swivel and sliding maneuvers. But he's just that good of a skater that it doesn't matter to him,
Well, doesn't CJ, I'm not positive, doesn't CJ ride anti-rocker? Do you know?
I don't know. Doesn't he? Oh, he doesn't ride witch frames anymore. I don't know what he rides.
Because I saw in warm-ups, dude, he did on the rainbow rail, the big rainbow, back Favre, 270 sold back Favre. Did you hear about that or see that?
No.
Dude, insane. During warm-ups, back Favre, 270 sold back-to-back Favre on the full rainbow.
But not during the contest?
But not during the contest.
What the hell?
And he absolutely rinsed it. Biz and Ricardo were like going insane.
CJ's a beast though. So
beast mode.
He's one of those people. Yeah. He's got that fat neck too.
Yeah. The dude is just a whole vibe, dude. I love him.
Yeah. I don't know. I spend more time with him. I haven't seen him in years.
But I do as a dirty anti-rocker roller, I do love seeing guys like Chad Hornish too. Like he rides anti-rocker, but like he's a transition, really, really good at transitions too. So it gives me hope someday I'll be able to skate transitions well.
I think the speed isn't an issue with anti-rocker because you could ride, I don't know, you could ride 58 or 60 anti-rocker and the speed is still there. I still was skating pretty fast, I think, when I was riding the blanks because they had 60mm wheels. It wasn't that was like the least of my worries. It was strictly the turning thing. Like,
okay,
like when you're skating up, I was skating up to the ledge. When you skate up to the ledge, 20 feet before you even get to the ledge, you're already committed. That's it. Like there's no turning back. Like 20 feet, and like with riding flat, you could just, if you make any kind of minor adjustments, like I don't even notice that stuff when I skate, but it was so distinct riding anti-rocker that I couldn't do it. The speed is fine though. I think for transitions, it probably doesn't matter because you don't need much of that maneuverability skating transitions. I
got you. I personally feel like with flat, I feel like I go faster. Whether or not I am, I feel like I'm putting more power to the ground, but that may just be all my head.
Mental. I mean, I'm sure it does in some way, but I
Yeah,
did, it wasn't like I noticed that. That was not something I took away from skating anti-rocker compared to
sure,
flat.
sure. Dub tag best flame best frame for flat. Anything to add? Or anything to?
It depends what you like. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
I always say that my thing that was against flat was people riding these big wheel flat frames. Like at the time when like the Ground Control bigs and the Ground Control mega frames were happening, I think that was like a horrible way to go. I don't think you were skating during that time. Were you skating during that time?
Not really. No.
Yeah. So they were trying to like promote riding flat with big wheels, but giving it like crazy wheel bite protection. And it was just, I think riding, if you're new to riding flat, like riding a big frame like that is not the way to do it. I think a lot of people um, like think differently about it, but
Mhm.
I would just say like a regular frame. I think that those Ground Control new Featherlight frames, I think are pretty good for flat. I always say Create Original frames are really good for flat. Because they got like a really nice thick sidewall and you can ride normal size wheels in them, like 56, 7s, 8s, something like
Mhm.
that. Those are really good. Just a nice, clean, simple, solid frame
Mhm.
is all you need. Nothing crazy. Um, Not featherlights like the original featherlight frames.
Yeah, definitely not. Like
Are,
The Shima
yeah,
ones.
yeah, those are horrible.
Oh man, yeah.
People overthink it too much. It's just
I think so. Yeah.
oh, here we go. I told you, boom, that was him. Someone true top hit
Yeah.
firecracker. That was him. That was your boy, Christian.
Yeah, Christian. It took me
Yes.
a long time to learn his name. Like I followed the guy for a long time. I just knew him as Turbo. But yeah, TTA on the firecracker, dude.
Oh, and it was how perfect was. That's like as good
Oh
as
my
it
god, textbook.
top as it gets.
Yeah, absolute textbook. I love his skating so much.
Yeah, I think that was when I saw like him. I was like, oh shit, this kid's in the finals, and he did that right after. I'm like, oh, I'm like this guy's legit.
Beast mode. Yeah, beast mode.
Really good.
Um, cool, man. I think we can probably start wrapping it up. In live for
Wait,
almost
we've been
2 hours
shooting for
now.
an hour 50.
Hour 50. Yeah, almost
Oh
2
my
hours.
god, that was
Time
crazy.
flies when you're having fun with me, dude.
I guess so. Thanks for the good time. I thought I was gonna do like an hour max or something like that.
Yeah, these always fly by. It's super fun. But
Yeah, so
um,
unpacking.
any final? I mean, we've covered it all, and this is But any final thoughts on Winter Clash 2023 here? Anything you want to leave us with, or we pretty much covered it?
I think we pretty much covered it. Just if you didn't make it this year, make it next year. Like you got to make it. I can't believe you didn't go. Are you going to Bittercold or no? You
I am. I'm going to be streaming it.
Okay. Okay. So I remember like last week you said you weren't sure, like you didn't know or something like that.
I had a friend reach out and give some assistance. So
Nice.
I will be there, and I want to give a huge shout out to the community here too. I've had a bunch of people reach out to ask me if I need help with the stream, which I do. So it's not going to be as good as this one. I already know this is like a professional stream, but it's I'm hoping that it can at least be fun to watch. So
Are you doing like an official stream or are you just doing like your own thing?
no, I think it's going to. I've talked with Daniel, the coordinator,
Okay, that's
and
what I'm making sure, like you hit up Daniel about it.
yeah, it's looking like it's going to be the official BCSD stream.
Yeah.
It's what it's looking like right now. As long as we can make sure it gets dialed in. I just feel bad. The bar is set so high with Ricardo's stream. It's set so high. If you go back and watch it, it is a very professionally made deal.
Yeah, that's cool. I was also talking to my buddy. He's a YouTuber also, Matt. I don't know how to say his last name, Hapoya or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He has like a few million YouTube followers for like camera content and stuff like that. And
Right.
he used to skate. And I've been talking to him recently, and he's been trying to get back into like skating events and stuff like that. And he lives in Canada, so he's only a few hours away from Bittercold. He's interested in going and like creating some sort of content or media from it. So it'd be cool if like he did make some sort of skating content from Bittercold and posted it on his channel with like a few million
That'd be so sick.
subscribers, just to see more people having their eyes on skating. Just random thing. I don't know if he's actually going to come through with it or whatever, but I told him to hit up Daniel also about getting like a media pass or whatever, like these guys with the vest and some shit. So I don't know what he plans on doing, but that's another good piece of content. I hope that comes out of Bitter Cold, just to get more outside eyes on skating, you know?
Absolutely. Same thing. I get big shout out to guys like that and Rob Scallon, who,
Yeah.
kind of pumps rollerblading a little bit to his massive following sometimes too. So
yeah.
Well, cool, man. I think we'll pretty much leave it there. Thanks for jumping on and offering to jump on, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I saw you doing all these WinterClash things, and I was like, oh, let me join in on the conversation.
Yeah, I love it, dude. You're always welcome.
Yeah, it's always
Anytime,
nice to have
any
you.
place.
I guess, I mean, I'm gonna catch you on the live stream beforehand, but I will definitely see you at Bitter Cold then. I gotta book my stuff for that now that I'm back home.
Yeah.
But I do plan on going, so I'll be there.
Fantastic. Well, I hope I will not hope to see you there, but maybe we can have you on the stream and goof off a little bit while we're there or something.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it. I'll be around.
All right, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, definitely. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, brother. Bye.
Later.
All right. Good stream. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.